there, everybody. Welcome to another Shed Chat Live here with the Jenny Monday Club. It's just taken us a little while, actually, to get up and running here. I've got a few problems. I'm still trying to sort them. There we go.
Ah.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, there, that's it. Right, I was wondering what was going on there. Anyway, hi to everybody. I'm here with special guest, Brian. You may remember from just a little while ago, you were on a Shed Chat Live, not last week, maybe not even
a couple of weeks ago,
a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we're here. It's taken us a little while. I apologise for the 11 minutes that we're late by. This is nothing to do with us. This is entirely down to the software that we use, which is OBS, O-B-S, and BS is quite apt for it because you have to keep opening it, closing it, opening and closing it before it recognises the microphone. I don't know what's going on there, but let's see who's in the house. Devan's GWR is in the house. Hi to you.
How you doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, grand to see you all. There's probably a few lurkers as well, but today, what are we going to talk about? Well, what have I been up to? Well, I talked last time about the visit to Hatton's. I'd done it last time, but hadn't put any of the videos up. But I interviewed David Milet. That's the first video that's gone up. There are more still to come. And this was talking about the Hatton's exclusive models. And it's interesting, actually. A lot of people probably ponder a little bit about how exclusive models are chosen. Even just down to like liveries. A lot of model shops have commissioned various different liveried, re-liveries of existing models. But Hatton's have kind of gone that one step further, and they've started a range of their own models. And it was interesting to find out from David Milet just how these are chosen, because you think there's all those prototypes out there. How do you know what to do and what not to do? And essentially for them, it's a commercial thing, as you would expect. But it's generally trying to get a feel of what is going to sell, because there's no point in doing something that won't sell, and also what hasn't been done before. And it was also interesting to find out from him how the technology moves on really quickly. And I had an inkling that this might be the case with things like a lot of the pre-grouping liveries. A lot of people have said, oh, there's all this pent-up demand. Why have people like Bachmann and Hornby not really done them before? And the answer is actually quite simple. The technology wasn't there to do the paint finishes on some of these things up until now. The tempo printing process has come on in leaps and bounds, and David Milet was actually telling me that the P-class that they did, the SECR livery on that is really pushing the boundaries of the technology. And he says when you compare it to the old Bachmann C-class in SECR livery, I say old, it's not that old, but that too was pushing the boundaries when it came out and really proved the market for pre-grouping liveries. And they've gone one step further, and he was showing me some of the stuff that they do with stuff like parallel lining on the buffer shanks, all that sort of thing. And it was really interesting. So in 3, 4, 5 years' time, it'll be interesting to see what the technology will allow. And we're seeing this with Hornby, with their 48DS Ruston diesel. Now that is a locomotive that there is no way in a million years that even a year or 2 years ago that anybody could have really taken on that model and had a chance of succeeding. I guess Bachmann tested the market on these super small models with the permanent way trolley, the motorised one, that they brought out. And I remember at the time people saying, this is amazing. Well, it looks like Hornby are going to be going one step further with that. But I also put in a bid for the Class 2 diesel shunter. Bit selfish of me, but is that one that you would go for?
Probably not, no, if I'm being honest.
They survive in industrial use until quite late.
Yeah.
And they've survived long enough to get tops numbers.
I think it would be a good idea for somebody to do that, don't get me wrong. But
yeah.
I think that there's probably one or two other things a little bit more up to date that people might.
So, I mean, what in your view would be the big sellers? In fact, actually, before we go on to that, let's just do a quick roll call. Let's see who we've got.
Yeah.
Philip Page, good evening to you. Devan Studio, are you okay apart from the Gwilly MPD annoying you rather with their stupidity? Just bear in mind before you tell us, as interested as we are in the hot gossip, that this is a fairly public channel, so It's one of the things that there's a lot of gripes that I have with a lot of people, but I'm always very careful what you say on public groups.
He did apologise for his French though.
Oh right, yes, you did actually. Yes.
How you doing there, Charles? I'm the Growler. Hello again. Remember you from last time I was here?
Cottesmore, hi Jenny and guest. There's Brian, by the way. Jenny and Brian. Let's have a look. David Train Time, hi to you. Philip Page, hi Dave. Hi Dave. Just been watching your video on the bridge. David Train Time. Yeah, bridges are always a great area for building. And it's an area which, I don't know about yourself, but I quite like scratch building bridges. I think that there's so much variety. When you look in the real world, there's so many different designs of bridges. And some of them really, really interesting. And I just love scratch building them out of card and plastic art, things like that. Excuse me. Sorry. Today's video, by the way, comes to you courtesy of Tsingtao, 1903 Tsingtao. I've been to the Chinese wholesaler. This is the good stuff, not what you buy in the supermarkets. This is what you get from the wholesaler. So if I get more and more like, ha-ha, then it's down to the booze. I've got some sake downstairs, and I'd like to warn you that sake tastes an awful lot like cat urine. That didn't come out how I expected. Let me rephrase that. Sake tastes an awful lot like how cat urine smells, if that makes sense. It does. You know, your sense of taste and your sense of smell are quite connected. Let's have a look. Cottesmore, hi Phil, what did you think? I think it's about the bridge. Yeah, I've built quite a few bridges in my time, scratch built. I'm currently on building the the Occupation Bridge. And that's actually quite a nice little kit. But let's have a look. Gary Cox, how's thee doing, lass? Did I get the accent right on that? It's like, Eba gum grand, whippets on a string and flat caps on, and we're going down to Chippyfoot Wet Mix. Gary Cox, hi Brian as well.
How you doing there, Gary?
Yeah. Dovan's GWR, just a loco problem that didn't need to happen. You know all about loco problems, don't you?
Yes.
Which he can't talk about. Actually, I know about my own loco problems, having dropped 24 of them on the floor and had to spend an evening doing some repairs. They're mostly fine, but that Daypol Class 22 needs a new set of buffer cowls.
I think I'm more careful with model trains than real ones, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least previous colleagues of mine.
Yeah, having heard how you drive locomotives, yes. Let's have a look. Philip Page, it looks great, not watched much yet. Has Jenny popped up live? Oh yes, boom! Jenny Monday Club, how are you all doing? It's great to see you all. Cottesmore, I think Phil was talking to me, Jenny. Yeah, I think he was actually. I've had to go at bashing a laser cut MDF to make a replica of Barmouth Bridge. Well, this is what we're kind of talking about with the bridges. And I'd be interested to see that actually. There's some really good laser cut bridge kits. When I was at Alexandra Palace, there was I can't remember the company, but they specialised in laser cut bits and pieces. And one of the things was like bridge sides and stuff, and they looked amazing. And I very nearly bought some, but then I remembered that I had an old broken Hornby 00 girder bridge, which I decided to use instead. But some of this laser cut stuff is really
Can I just ask, by the way, hello Leslie, you've not by any chance just bought some Mark 3s off eBay, have you? Because I've just posted off this morning some Pretendolino Virgin trains.
Well, do you recognise the name?
Yeah, I do actually. Yes, because I noticed when I was writing out the label, it was the first time that I'd heard the surname Gilpin. It's probably not you, but yeah, just thought, you never know.
It might be.
Could be.
One of the things I found, it's very interesting just almost how incestuous the model railway world is.
Les has
right.
turned up.
I'll leave Brian with you. I've got Les downstairs. We keep him locked up making scenery for
Yeah,
us.
we've got a little cage for him, and we keep him there, like, for little jobs that need doing. So yeah. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Although I do apologise on what's gone onto my channel. There's only been one video. Basically, we've been busy with this job that we're doing at the moment, and it's taken on quite a fair bit of all three of our time. So very little going on my own channel on Northcote Road. But yeah, I should try and get more done. I desperately need to. But we've got a polystyrene cutter, you know, these heat cutting things, that uses the heated wire. So I'm going to try and nick off with that for a little while. Anyone that's seen on my channel on Northcote Road, I've got the main line itself is all up on the top of level, and I'm having problems with the over enthusiastic hill that I put up. On a corner, I've actually got it going up a hill and then back down again into the station area. So I'm going to have to...
Have you been ambitious with your hills and forgot that model trains don't like gradients very much?
Well, I've realised that almost all of my longer wheelbase carriages have suddenly decided they no longer want my company.
Yeah, and sometimes you get like even a minor twist in the track, especially on a curve and a gradient, then you get flange climb and... it can be disastrous. I've had this problem in the past with unevenly laid track, and it's one of the pitfalls of model railway building is gradients, curves, and model trains. They don't like you know you can have any two of the three.
I'm not. You know, I'm not fantastic at track laying at the best of times. You know what I mean? I'm Hornby track mat standard sometimes, but yeah, I really did get ambitious plans that I couldn't quite deliver on with mine.
Isn't that like the newbie mistake? Anyway, let's have a look. Train Sporting Southeast. Sorry, late. No, you're not. You're never late. You do rock up whenever you want. Come and go as you please. We have an open door policy, and it's always nice to have people on for the Jenny Monday Club. So dip in and out, and just remember as well that after the broadcast finishes, the entire video goes up on YouTube, so you can either catch up bits you've missed, bits you want to see again. So it's great, it's grand, all are welcome. Let's have a look. What else have we got? The Growler Blackwood N-Gauge layout. Just Scratch built a new road bridge on Blackwood N-Gauge layout. Bridge includes the station building. Think it looks good, but I might be a bit biased. Actually, station buildings on the bridge, I did that out in the shed with Bolton Trinity Road, and you can get some really good effects with that.
I promised I was going to have a look at that as well, and I apologise I never got round to it. I shall remember this time. So yeah, it definitely interested in that. And Train Sporting Southeast, definitely would like an update on Hugo.
Oh,
definitely.
Did he mention Hugo when you were here last?
Yeah.
Actually, interested. Let's have a look. Video of the week: double-headed Black Fives at Horwich Parkway on Saturday.
There was a lot of steam over the weekend. Then I know. I think Tornado was moving around somewhere. Wasn't Leander out as well on a rail tour? There was a lot of steam over the weekend.
Right, let's just. It's all right. You keep talking amongst yourselves. Yeah. I'm just. Oh, come on! We've got the twiddly beach ball of death. Oh, thank you. Oh, Apple Macs. Who'd have one? Oh, actually, I would. They're quite good. Right. Let's have a look. See if we can. Let's just pause that. And sorry, this is techno stuff. This is the Philip Page's video. So. I'll show you a little bit. The Citadel Tour 30. Where's it? Horwich Park. I've been through that station so many times, but that's a great. It's a great vantage point, and you've got the light just right. That is brilliant. Here it comes. So I'm stealing your thunder here. So this is Philip Page's video. Oh, double header. That is nice. So anybody want to go and have a look at that? That's on Philip Page's YouTube channel. So nice.
Great video, that.
Yeah, good spot. So where are we up to? Sean Millard, what is the best DCC controller to buy? DCC's your thing. You're the person who infected me with the DCC bug.
Yeah, I basically went out and spent far too much money, and you said, "Oh, it's a gimmick; it'll never catch on." And then you
I don't
did it,
think
and now
those
Les
are
is
my
doing
exact words.
Well, you
Right, it is contagious. You convinced me, and then I convinced Les. Les did promise that he would come up and say hello, but it's kind of hard to escape our basement. So I'm sure he'll be fiddling with the lock. At the moment, so.
Well, the what was I going to say then? What was it you said?
You were going to say, Jenny, your turn.
Oh, that was it with the DC controller. DCC. I have a Lens LVZ 100 kit, and that's quite good, but it does have quite a few little faults with it.
You've had to reset yours, and it's.
Yeah, it suddenly forgot how to do everything. It suddenly had a brain transplant and just, died on me. And the resetting of it is rather strange. It's like putting the code 0000 for the loco code, and then one button, just press it like 28 times, and eventually it'll go, whoa, oh, I'm sorry, did you want me? And
what
reset
if you press
itself.
it 29 times by mistake?
It probably blows up, probably.
Yeah,
But-
it's like, no, we've launched the missiles.
But apart from that, it works okay, and that's the lens LZV 100 that
See,
I've got.
See, I'm using your old DCC, your Gauge
Yeah.
Master. Is it DCC01?
It's the Prodigy, the Prodigy one that.
Prodigy Advance, isn't it? Or...
I don't think it's the advanced one. No, it's their one.
I've not had any problems with it actually. I found it pretty good.
The only problem is with the Prodigy ones, with the the bottom of the market one, which that one is. It's the for the Prodigy
The
ones.
cheap and nasty one for the poor people.
It's the entry level. I think that's the correct way of putting it. Is that it will only have it'll only accept so many chips at the same time, so many locos. So anything past 3, and it's going to start struggling basically. So apart from that, the other ones, I think the bog standard Bachmann setup, I think, is supposedly the dynamics. That one's meant to be pretty poor. The
I've heard a lot
Hornby
of
one
people
is
say that
rubbish.
Oh yes, is that the was it
The Hornby one?
Yeah.
Hornby Select.
Yeah. I've not actually seen anybody personally who's used the Hornby one, but certainly the Bachmann Dynamis. It's one of those ones that a lot of people think, oh, it'll just get me into the hobby, and then very quickly find its limitations. It's very limiting from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And it tends to be that you don't stick with it for long, you very quickly upgrade, which probably says a lot about it.
I would say if you're starting off, don't go for the lens one that I have, because it can be quite complicated. It's not quite as simple to use when you first set up. The only reason why I knew how to use it was because of the Model Railway Club that I was going to each week, and they had it installed and somebody showed me there. So yeah, I think if you're going to start off at an entry level, I'd go for the Prodigy myself, and then learn how to use it, and then get the advanced one, and then
if
build
you feel
up from
you
there.
need it.
Yeah, because it's easier, it's a lot easier to learn how to do it. But I would say that my gripe with that one was actually the acceleration using a wheel, because it wasn't quite as...
Yeah, if you spin the wheel too fast, it kind of ignores you. So if you
Yeah.
suddenly go, oh no, the train's going to crash, and you're trying to stop it, and you're spinning the wheel, and it's just nothing happens. Because
Yeah.
it's almost, if you spin it too quick, it goes, you didn't really want it to change the value.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like anybody who's got one of those showers will know what I mean. It's like it feels like you're trying to get the correct temperature on, and you feel like a safe cracker really trying to get that thing set
Yeah,
right.
so I mean, as an entry level, I would go for the Gauge Master one myself.
Yeah, it seems a pretty
Yeah.
decent. Gauge Master always had a good reputation for controllers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, let's have a look. Train Sporting Southeast. Is your Great Model Railway Challenge layout based on BR Blue? I really don't know what you're talking. Do you know what he's talking about?
But we weren't in that.
No.
It'd be nice if we were asked, but no, we weren't in that. So not us, I'm afraid.
You may think we're doing that. We can't possibly comment on that. Let's have a look. Gary Cox, this weekend is looking good for GCR. I think presumably there's
Oh, Great Central.
Yeah.
I thought that was last weekend, just gone. With 50017 was there, or is it the Steam one this weekend?
might be a Steam one.
Yeah.
Then we've got Leslie Gilpin just before it disappears off the top. Sean, I went for the NCE Power Cab, currently converting my layout to DCC. Yeah, it's a myth that you just need.
Which one's the Power Cab? Which one's that one?
I'm not sure. You'll have
Yeah.
to Google that or something.
Yeah, that's one I don't think I've come across. I might
Yeah,
recognise it
here
by
we
a
are.
picture, but...
Keep calm, make stuff. Evening all, I agree. NCE is easy to operate and other manufacturer stuff works well with it. Interesting. It's one we'll
Yeah.
have to investigate. Train Sporting Southeast. We have lifted the boiler and the cylinders taken out and just got the frames and smoke box. That's you.
Oh,
guys.
yeah, of course, yeah. Well, yeah, fantastic news. It's
that's-
great you carry on with that, yeah.
Yeah, to get at the wheels. That's coming along really well, actually.
Yeah.
Do you have a kind of a roadmap of how long do you think it'll be before you're able to actually run that locomotive? Because
That's quite a long way within the space of the past 2 weeks from last
yeah,
time
definitely.
that I spoke to you,
I mean,
definitely.
I'm just curious. I mean, I think last time you said it's in reasonably good condition, which does beg the question why it's been hidden in the bushes for so many decades.
Well, it was if I remember rightly, wasn't it one of the members that one of the retired members that basically just kind of I'm fed up with it kind of thing, just leave it there, and then when he died, and then
how'd you get fed up with your own railway?
well, some people just buy things that they can't then do anything with, and
there is that, because I mean it's a big engineering task, and unless you have access to a lot of people and equipment, then that is pretty hard going.
Yeah.
David, trading time. I use Z21 and it's great. I presume that's another DCC controller.
I think is that the Bachmann one?
Could be.
The
I think they've got a slight. They've got an up range. The Dynamis is the basic entry level, and they do a better one as well.
Yeah.
Devan's GWR train spotter. Is this long running joke, or do you swear on your life that it's true? About Hugo, I think this is the locomotive.
Oh.
It's going to be all over the preservation news, I think, when that locomotive breaks cover. Sean Millard, is Gauge Master good then? Yeah, I'd say Gauge Master controllers are tried, tested, reliable. They're not necessarily the best that money can buy, but they're certainly, you won't be disappointed with them.
Easy to learn with it. I think that's the way to put it. But at the same time, everyone's preferences are different. And as the BBC say, what is it?
Pay your licence fee or something.
No, other manufacturers are available.
Oh yes, yeah. I'll be honest, I use all Gauge Master controls, and I'm pretty happy.
It's the Rocco one. Oh right, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Leslie Gilpin, the Gauge Master is rebadged MRC from the USA. Right, interesting.
Okay, yeah.
The Irish Train King. Hello to you, Leslie Gilpin. Basic level, just plug it in. Ham Shackleton, good to see you along. Evening to you. Dragon Junction, hi to you. And Fat Wallet Boy too. Good evening to you too. I wonder if your wallet will be that fat after you've been out on a spending spree. Do you sort of become Thin Wallet Boy too after you've been to somewhere like Worley or Ali Pally?
And to answer the next bit you've just put, well, I don't know. I mean, I suppose depending on other people's interest in it, I suppose.
Which comment we're looking at?
Just as you read that, he's also put, is it strictly model railways, or can he venture off into other subjects like sci-fi?
I get told off if I go off piece too much. People go, "Oh, why are we not talking about trains?" Well, they don't necessarily use that voice, but we can try and talk about other stuff. I think we've fixed people's Volvos on the chat before now, because one of my I've got lots of other hobbies as well.
Because all Volvos need fixing at some point during the day.
I've got a present for you. I've got it all wrapped up. See everybody, that's the present that I've got for Brian. Keeping it family friendly. Let's have a look. Dragon Junction, hi to you. I think we've already read those. Philip Page, hi to you. Dragon Junction, you here again, Phil. We get a lot of regulars here. It's always nice to have people coming in, and it's nice to see a lot of the faces, and it's also nice to have met some of you as well at Ali Pally and in model railway shops. I met I've forgotten his name. Ralph.
The Rozzers are outside.
Oh, interesting. So we've got CCTV over here. So
I'm a proper curtain twitcher, so I keep nosing over to the side at the CCTV, looking for trouble.
And it's great. Actually, CCTV is great because you don't even need to twitch your curtains. You can see what's going on without people knowing.
Yeah.
Not that we haven't got any telephoto lenses in through people's bedroom windows or anything.
Yet.
Basically, I'm a girl. If I want anything poor now, I just look in the mirror. Let's have a look. Leslie Gilpin, Fat Wallet Boy at Corsham MRE yesterday. I saw the layout from the chap who did the sci-fi layout on GMRC last year. Oh, was that there was a couple actually, because there was the Team Steampunk and Team Sci-Fi. Yeah. Team Steampunk, from what I remember, they had the dinosaurs and it was real Warhammer type thing. Yeah. And then the Team Sci-Fi did the Dalek layout, and I know Team Sci-Fi very well because I was the original team captain for that team, but I had to drop out for various reasons. So I know Derry Foe Nightingale and Alex Croft very, very well. We also we all met actually on Biggest Little Railway, the Channel 4 series. That's how I got to know them. I always like to get a plug in to go, I've done TV, I've done TV.
Best budget controller at Digimax Zephyr. I've heard of that one actually, although I haven't seen anything of it. I mean, when I was having a look at different YouTube videos, like you do, to learn stuff about the new products and stuff like that. And that was one that I didn't look into.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I might actually have a nosy at that.
Oh, Ham Shackleton, don't forget to plug your books. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Right, just keep him talking.
Okie doke. So yeah, let's have a look. Okay, how do you transfer video from an iPad to Windows laptop? I think you can do it just by USB cable, can't you? Can't you access it just as...
Yeah, video files are fairly standard format. All computers should...
Yeah, so when you access it through your Windows desktop, it should actually just come up as like an external hard drive, I think.
Because Ham Shackleton asks, very nice of you to ask. These are some of my books. So Twinkle Little Star, and there's Bringing Home the Stars as well. And also like to make you all aware of my most recent trilogy. I'm just trying to... I'm looking at a time-lagged picture. So we've got Where Once the Faithful Rise, Where Once the Faithful Roamed, and Where Once the Faithful Ran. I can't actually remember which order they're supposed to be read in. Because shock horror, I wrote a big tome of a book, and the publisher split it into a trilogy because they said trilogies sell better. So anyway, yes. So that's actually like the day job. So sci-fi books plugged. Thank you, Ham Shackleton, for reminding me about that. So available in all good bookshops, and a few really dire ones. And I've probably done book signings in the dire ones as well. Oh, you go in and it just smells of cabbage. Anywho,
yeah.
Morty UK evening, hoping to return to it says The Hobbit. I think that's a typo. To the hobby. Seems to be lots of changes over the last 25 years. Oh yes, yes there are. Certainly, I came back to the hobby in about 2001 was when I came back to the hobby. And even, when I came back to the hobby then, there was a lot of changes over the previous 10 years. But we've seen things just come on in leaps and bounds. And a lot of it is the technology, like the finish of the models and the way the models are made. So we get a lot finer models, a lot better finishes on them. So we're getting prototypes which, even 10 years ago, they could not have made. So like the Hatton's P-Class, and the Hatton's Andrew Barclay, the Hornby Peckett, the Hornby Ruston that's forthcoming. All of these locomotives just couldn't have existed in model form 10 years ago at a proper price from the manufacturers. But the way the technology's moved on, it's allowed these things to happen. And, we've had DCC in the last 25 years, DCC Sound, Static Grass is another one. There's so many changes. Let's have a look.
Somebody mentioned that's just gone off the top there as well about
scroll.
Recommending chips. Basically, I mean, me personally, how many different ones have you used now?
Well, the chips.
Yeah, just the chips themselves.
I've used the Hornby cheap 4-pin ones. I use them a lot, especially. Well, they're the ones that are supposed to be for the Sentinel and the Peckett, but. Excuse me, I use them for hardwiring locos as well. I find them particularly good for that.
Yeah.
Because they've only got 4 pins. All they do is you feed from the track and you feed to the motor.
So I think what you mean is by different manufacturers' ones, I think.
Oh, yeah, I've used Gauge Master as well. And Bachmann.
I would say that going off recent things that I've read on Facebook about people complaining about certain chips, I would say if you're not entirely sure on chips, I would say that the lens ones, to give them a bit of a wide berth, and there's a few people recently that have been complaining about them, that the lens ones are not very good, so I'd give them a bit of a wide berth.
Really? So what, are they just like popping or something, or just forgetting their settings?
Forgetting the settings and things like that. Basically, unless you actually know what you're doing and you know having to reset them all the time and things like that, it's probably worth staying away from if you're not.
I've used the Zen ones. They seemed all right with the Stay Alive.
There's quite a few now that I've bought off eBay loco wise that have already got them fitted. That've got Zen ones in, and they seem to be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean the ones I've used the Hornby ones, I've used the Bachmann own brand ones, I've used the Zen ones, the Gauge Master ones, and what's the other one? Digitrax?
Not sure. difficult to be honest. Could be.
I've not actually, to be honest, found any bad ones. And in fact, there's one chip. It's an 8-pin chip, an old 8-pin chip. I'm not even sure what manufacturer it is, and it was given to me as being, it's a blown chip. Just sling it in the bin. And I plugged it straight into a Bachmann Class 8, and it just worked.
See, now this is the thing when you put chips into Hornby locos. Right? Be warned that, especially if you're not too sure what you're doing with different chips, and if it's a sound chip, especially even worse, is that Hornby locos really like Hornby chips.
Yeah.
If you put other ones into them, then they can basically start acting funny, where you've got to go through CV changes to change the speed and things like that.
CV 150, 151 and 152.
And it works the other way with Bachmann locos and things like that, when you put Hornby chips in those. So when you've got 8-pin chips and you've got them for Hornby, or you've got, say, a Locksound one or whatever, if you're putting them into a Hornby loco or a Hornby chip into a Bachmann loco, etc., just be aware that you might have to go onto Google, search for these CV settings for these chips and what have you, and then go through the process of resetting certain things.
I had this in particular, putting the Bachmann cheap 8-pin chips into Hornby locomotives, and what they were actually doing was when they set off, they're like jerked, jerk, 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 and they weren't smooth, and I had to Google, and when you Google, people say, you have to change these settings, and it fixed the problem, but you just have to put in a little bit of work.
I'd say something, when I changed the chip on my Hornby 31, I got the super detailed Civil Engineers 110, and this is with a Hornby loco with a Hornby chip, and it did the same thing then, and I was it was a good job of where I was, which was at the time was Preston Model Railway Club, because they've got their exhibition layout that you can use. It's DC and DCC, 4-track main line, and it's split between the two. You've operated on that layout yourself, haven't you?
Oh yes.
And each side's got 25 foot of running, which is a good job, because as soon as I put the sound chip in it, and then I put it on the rails and tried it, it was doing the whole juddery thing. So I went and changed the speed setting, and then the next thing that happened, it went like a rocket. And I only had it on a small speed setting, but yeah, it was going at like 30 mile an hour around the layout. So you've got to be careful with these things.
Right, let's have a look. Leslie Gilpin, Steampunk on a moon of Saturn with dinosaurs. This is a reference. This is Team Steampunk.
This is the one that got the Class 66 model and put different bits on it.
Yeah, made it a bit Warhammer.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the original question was. Hold on, let me scroll up.
No, just that they'd seen it.
Oh, right, yeah. A lot of the GMRC Series 1 models are doing the rounds. I was at Alexandra Palace, and there was at least 2 of them. The Missenden modelers, yes, them, were around and seemed very annoyed that they had kind of got a bad rap on that. And then there was also Team Sci-Fi with the Doctor Who layout with there as well. I've also seen the Blackadder layout. I believe that's now been sold, but it did do a few exhibitions, because I did see that. I think that was at Worley.
I think it was at Worley.
Yeah. So I have seen a few, and there's possibly a few others that I've seen without realising, because I've not actually watched the series. Let's have a look. Fat Wallet Boy 2, yeah, this was in regard to me taking the rip out of his handle there. Might indeed be Thin Wallet Boy if I can get up to York exhibition this weekend and buy a few models. Of course, yes, York exhibition, always Easter weekend. That's always a good show. My father used to take me that when I was there when I was a kid. And then we got, let's have a look, Gonads 1259. Are you regretting picking that as your handle yet? Evening, bought of Bachmann Fairburn yesterday, model of 42073 at Ravenglass Railway in the Lakes. Ah, yes, Lakeside and Haverthwaite, I think that's at.
Yeah.
And then we got Aki Kebota Onoma, Lindo. Is that, I think that's Spanish. I don't do Spanish.
It's Spanish, Brazilian Spanish.
Ah, right, that would
yes.
Yes, there we are. It says, I'm from Brazil.
Yes.
Well, hello to Brazil. We like to tick off the countries, so
yes.
Brazil.
Yes.
I thought.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We will on our big map that's just out of view. We will put a pin in Brazil, so we can we get people from all over. A lot of people from Australia, Canada. We've had people from India, Philippines, France, Germany, Scandinavia, all parts thereof. Iceland, we've had. USA. In fact, we were trying to tick off all the states.
The growler. Yeah, I've done that myself. Don't worry about it. Battery running out on camcorder is about to film something.
Zoe does that all the time.
It's the reason now I use my phone instead.
Yeah, always have a backup camera.
Yeah.
In fact, a little story. When I did the Hattons interviews, I went there and Zoe had all the cameras and camera gear, and she thought she'd charged both batteries for the main camera. We started filming. We got about 5 to 10 minutes in. Low battery warning light. Not a problem, I'll change the battery. Put the next battery in and it was flat. So we ended up recording most of the interviews on an iPhone, and our backup camera, which is a Panasonic HD01, which isn't the most, it's not really suitable for that kind of thing. It doesn't work very well because it's a fisheye lens. So yeah, it's always a big problem. Dragon Junction, do you know that big church in Paris is burnt down? Yeah. Notre Dame, we saw that just before we came on air. It was quite sad. We saw the video of it, and that is quite an intense burn, and that is heartbreaking for a building with that much history, that old, to go up like that. And it reminds me a little bit, I'm of an age where I remember York Minster burning down in, I think it was the early 80s. And that was like, so many people so upset, and I think we're going to have much the same with this. It's obviously a breaking story. It was like the story was 2 minutes on the BBC site just before we came on air. I do hope they get that fire out. I do hope that they're able to salvage as much of that building as they can, and I hope it doesn't do too much damage. But that really is heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of architecture, and I mean, when I was in Paris, and you know what I mean, I love the architecture in Paris. Some beautiful buildings there, but Notre Dame is definitely my favourite. So yeah.
Hello. Come on in. Les has escaped the basement where we've had him building scenery. Come on, you can just see. Can you, if you get your face in shot? See, Les does exist.
Hiya. I'm not going to hide behind the icons this time.
Yeah, this is Les Cliff. Quite a few of you know Les from the Facebook group as much.
Oh, that's for Crime Watch.
Yes, have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Yes, did you see this man ring 999?
And my son-in-law will answer the phone.
Yeah, and go, oh yeah, we know all about him. Let's have a look. Right, Devans GWR, good job keeping that under wraps considering you have announced it on the internet. What? Who's announced what?
Which one's that?
Train Sporting Southeast. Well, I got whispers of a new season of Biggest Little Railway.
Oh.
They haven't told me. Did you?
No, I've not heard anything.
Because Les, come on, into shot again.
Back into shot again.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put it this way: if they have, they obviously didn't like these.
Sorry.
They couldn't possibly have liked these that much because they haven't had an invite back. So.
Yeah.
We were the best ones there.
Yeah. You may recognise Les as well. Les was on Biggest Little Railway, and myself.
Team C.
Yeah, Team D. D for the best.
We had a famous motto, but I better not say it.
Zen and Zimos, actually not heard anything bad about them as far as the chips goes. I mean,
Ham Shackleton read that Hatton's decoders can be very fussy on which control you use. I've never used Hatton's own decoders.
I've never heard of that one before.
I thought they just rebadged Gauge Master. I thought.
Well, the one shop that does their own branded ones that I have heard can be a little bit iffy is Olivia's Trains if they need resetting. I'm probably the only person that's not had any problem with Olivia's Trains. No, I mean seriously.
I think it's the customer service that a lot of people
right,
have
fair
problems
enough.
with, rather than the products.
I mean, product-wise, this seem okay to me. But I have heard somewhere, from a couple of places actually, that the sound does have a habit of completely resetting itself, and then you're having to send the chip back. And I heard of one person that did end up having an absolute barney with them over the fact that they then wanted to charge them for resetting the chip, even though it was their product's fault for resetting itself.
Let's have a look down. We're just Bob Hayworth. How do you wire up 10? Are you all right?
Yeah.
So we've broken Les. So I'm afraid this room's not really big enough for 3 people. So
No.
so you'll be like Wilson the butler. We'll just see it. It
You
was
can see my fat belly instead.
no, it was that guy on Police Squad. You never saw his head. You know, he was always like towering out of shot.
Oh, I know him. Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, and he'd be like, "Oh, you got a bit of something in the corner of your mouth." You go, "What?" And a whole banana would just fall down into shot.
They were brilliant, those Leslie Nielsen films.
They were. I've got them on DVD.
Gauge Master chips, not a problem.
Never
as far
had a
as
problem with
no.
them. I use the Gauge Master DCC 23 chip quite a lot, which is a 6-pin chip because it's the perfect size to fit in some of the smaller locos like the Hatton's Andrew Barclay. I think that's about the only chip that will fit it.
I have for normal, because I try and put sound in everything on mine. But
You'd put sound in a toaster if you could.
that do you know that I think you're gonna have that written on your gravestone. You said it that many times now, but
Yeah, like
I mean,
talkie toaster. Anybody for some?
how about a bagel? So yeah,
You're a muffin man.
basically I've got a small amount of those Gauge Master chips, 8-pin ones, or and basically when I've not been able to, usually when I can't afford to put another sound chip and something, because let's face it does get very expensive. So I do still have probably about 10 or so that have not got sound fitted. So, but these Gauge Master chips that I've got have been in several different locos. And the DMUs and what have you, and then they get taken out and they get the sound chip and they go in the next thing.
Yeah.
So all my fleet's still
They're
decent.
basically like a tide you over. Anyway,
Exactly,
just before
yeah.
it goes off the top there, Bob Hayworth, how do you wire up 10 lampposts on my layout?
I don't know, you're looking at me.
I'm looking at you.
I've no idea, because I have a
Carefully?
house. Yeah, well, I have a housemate that's an
Electrician.
An electronics
yeah,
guru.
an electrical engineer, as she likes to be called. So,
Can I
yeah.
ask a question?
Yes.
Maybe some of your listeners might know. I'm fairly new to doing DCC, and I recently got a very nice diesel loco with DC sound and everything, and it worked fine. I've got a new Gauge Master Prodigy, I think it's called.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning the ropes on how to use it and everything. And all of a sudden, it was going along quite nicely, the noises and everything. And it suddenly decided to shoot off at warp factor 10 in the opposite direction, completely unaided by me. And then I had to reset it all again. Now, I've sent it back to the person I bought it off, and they've no idea why the chip has suddenly started behaving erratically. But apparently there are some chips out there that will do this.
Yeah, to be honest with you, this is something that, because they're quite delicate, quite often it's because of the fact that they're not sat on the housing properly with the pin when it actually goes in.
So it's basically
Usually
got a loose
that's what it is.
connection.
So
Now,
it's like the vibration of it moving causes the pin not to be connected
either
properly.
that or it's not been fitted properly in the first place, but it's not tight enough. But at the same time, it's really easy not to get that bit right, because they're so fiddly that, you know what I mean, sometimes like that extra crack to get it in right sometimes can break it. So they're trying to be careful with it, basically.
Right.
But if it's an 8-pin one,
I don't know. It's a chip.
if it's an 8-pin one, then the biggest mistake that people always make is putting the damn thing in back to front,
so
which causes all end the problems. Yeah. If you're lucky, all it will affect is just the lights won't work.
You have to make sure that it's on number 1,
I
don't
thought
you,
it
when
would
it's
go in
wired
the wrong
in.
direction as well.
Yeah, but it's like, to be honest with you, it's on DCC where you're selecting the direction, so you wouldn't notice, would you?
Well, you would, because when you set it to go forwards, the locomotive would go backwards.
Yeah, but
On the control where it's telling
on my controller it won't make any difference, because it's just got left and right rather than up and down.
Yours is with the arc, isn't it?
So with mine it wouldn't make any difference on mine. So
right, let's have a look. It's interesting about the Lakeside and Haverthwaite original aim in the 60s. Yeah, I heard about this. Do the full branch to Plumpton Junction with a hovercraft connection to Morecambe across the bay. I knew that they tried to preserve the entire branch, but unfortunately, because it was Dame Barbara Castle refused permission. I think she was Minister for Transport at the time, because they didn't want the expense of building a bridge for the A590. So that was the reason why. Let's have a look. Gonads 1259. The main man is doing his chateau in France, isn't he? Not as far as I know. There was a jesting joke on filming. I know when we filmed team leader briefs every morning, in between takes, he did joke about, we could do a Christmas special laying a garden railway at the chateau. But he really was just joking. I have talked with him since, and certainly it was just a joke. Oh, I didn't go, oh, are we doing this? It was to do with...
So who's heard there's going to be a second
Oh,
series?
somebody's just said, but I'll have to chase that up.
Yeah.
But to the best of my knowledge, Love Productions have no intention of doing a second series. Now, never say never in the world of TV, but we'll certainly keep our ears to it.
Wasn't it proven to be rather expensive?
Yeah, they spent something like
4 million, 3 million, something?
3 or 4 million pounds. It wasn't a cheap venture. Let's put it
So,
that way.
so let me just clarify this. Well, being at Didcot doing bantering, working secret projects for very well railway show. Elaborate, maybe.
I've got to
Sporting?
scroll. Gopnik Sands, hello to you. I can't. It's a train channel. We can't really watch R2D2 videos.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. There
it
we
was, if you.
Oh,
yeah.
This is right. This is about the street lights.
Oh, yeah. Before
What?
you scroll down any
I
further.
want to try and get to where the new comments are coming in. Come on,
I
go on.
know,
Quick,
I know.
quick,
Try
quick,
and
quick.
get through them. Try and get. Whoever it was that just commented then. Oh, Stuart Moore, that was it. Forthcoming 319 in Engage. Engage, and something that's not available in 00. Bit of a gripe of mine, but yeah.
Class 14 for a long time.
Well, who's making it? That's one thing I want to know. Because I haven't heard of this one yet, and I actually want one in 00, and it's going to cost me £400 for a kit. So I'd love to know if anyone's going to do that in 00.
Philip Page, I love watching Dick Strawbridge at his chateau. Apparently, he told me that if he walks the perimeter of his property, it's about a mile. And I said to him, that's quite a nice morning walk. I'd like a property that I could walk for a mile and not leave my property.
Definitely.
But yeah,
Stroll around the garden for the
I've watched a few Escape to the Chateaus. It's pretty interesting.
We've got them all on preview record to watch.
Yeah, he actually told me when we were in Scotland how much that chateau cost him. I'm not going to it's a bit sort of rude to just tell you what he paid for it, but I was mentally selling up my own house and all my belongings to see whether I could actually afford the chateau next door. Not because I wanted to be his neighbour, but just because it's like, that's a lot of house you get for your money.
I went to France a couple of years ago. We went to the Dordogne. We met the people that did the Little Britain show or whatever. Fantastic people. They took us all the way around the area. We found a house that we wanted. It was about £175,000. It had, I don't know how many acres, but quite a few acres of vineyard in the front of it, a wraparound forest. It was a 3-mile walk into town.
Right.
There was a little shop that I could have set up my business in there.
How much?
It was £175,000, about €190,000, something like that. The lady sadly was wanting to go back to Switzerland because she had terminal cancer. But in France, if you want to buy a property and you shake on it, it's like in Scotland, you are committed.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, all my finances are tied up in the property I've got here in Bolton.
Yeah. That's a good price.
It was an excellent price. It was a
right.
beautiful
That's
idea.
here we are. There's right, going down to 12:59. Wire them in parallel, not series, else they'll be very dim. This is the street lights. Or if you want them to be dim, wire them in series. Ham Shackleton, loco shooting off like crazy. Try cleaning the track. Disable DC running on the chip. A dirty track can corrupt the data, so the decoder thinks it's getting DC at 16 volts.
Yeah, and
that's an interesting point, actually.
And as Leslie Gilpin says a little bit further down there as well, that some funny things can happen if you don't turn off the CV setting for DC running. To be honest with you, I have heard of that before, but I'm actually going to look into that for a couple of mine.
Yeah, actually, that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I must admit, actually, some of the new chips now are coming with DC running by default turned off, and that may be because they got so sick of people's complaints saying, "Oh, it's not working." Right. Yeah. Derek Grant, Jenny, swap to live chat, not top chat. We are actually on live chat. It's just the comments are coming in so quickly, we can't read every single comment. So we're just sort of scanning through. Yeah. Let's have a look. We're lagging behind a lot. The comments are coming in so quick. We're trying to read them, so we're not where they're appearing immediately.
Yeah, apologies if we missed a few.
Sparky 107. Hi to you. Good to see you again. Hello to you and Mr. Guest. This is Brian, And this is
How do?
Les.
And Mr. Guest Les is going to go back down into the dungeon and carry on with some scenery work.
Yes, come on.
All right, get the
Back
whip
in your
out.
box. Back in your box.
I'm going. Don't
Yeah.
hit me, master. Don't hit me, master.
Yes, maybe there'll be some stale bread and water for you if you're good.
Thank you. You're so good to me.
Yes.
He pays a lot of money for this privilege as well. Yeah.
Don't jest. There are places where people do. Let's have a look.
Deary me. Okay. Yeah, Growler. 16 platform lights. I am dreading it when I build a platform. I don't know whether or not did you subscribe to my last time we chatted? I think you did. You
You
can
picked
see.
up about 17 subscribers last time. You were
Yeah, I
like,
did rather well.
Yeah.
I just didn't realise anybody wanted to listen to me rabbit on, but yeah,
Yeah,
thank you very much,
You
everyone,
have to
for that.
produce lots of good content. Though. That's
I know,
yeah,
been that busy though lately, but I promise I will do. But for those that have seen it, of course, it's like 5 main platforms and a huge, great big triangle platform. So yes, Growler, I sympathise completely, because when it comes round to me doing my platform lights, it's probably going to be about 40 of the damn things. So yes, I sympathise.
Right, let's have a look. Bob Hayworth, can I join the positive and negatives together and run them on a regulated plug? Thanks. As long as you get positive to all the positives together and all the negatives together, otherwise effectively you'll bypass the light with the current. Let's have a look. Max's Hobby Productions. Oh, where's it gone? It's just moved. Oh, there we are. Hi, Jenny. I've seen the Great Model Railway Challenge. It was a good series. Is that what we're talking about, by the way? First time chatting on Shed Chat. Hi to you. I know there's a lot of people who do lurk. Don't worry about it. Join in if you want to. Don't feel obliged to. That's fine. We on and off we chat about GMRC, BLR, Biggest Little Railway, Escape to the Chateau we've done, and also plugging.
Here we go.
My books. There we go. I'm trying to get it so the light doesn't shine on it. There's one of them. There's 5 down here. Yes, I am a many times published sci-fi author. I know it probably sounds a bit sort of like la-di-da, look at you. But I can't remember how many books I've had published. I think I'm up to about 11 or 12.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good going, is that?
So if we count them down, there's a book called Homo Superior, Day Trippers, Orb of Arawan, Syndicate Dawn, Countdown to Extinction. There we are. There's 5. Twinkle Little Star, Bringing Home the Stars. Those are the 3 books. I've forgotten what they're called. That's 10. Then there's also collected works of Life of Knobty Mouse, collected all over the house book 1, collected all over the house book 2, and there's currently being put together collected works of collected all over the house book 3. So 13 with a 14th on the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all of them.
Wow.
I lose track. It's very easy. Ironically, it's very easy to lose track.
That really is some going, that is.
I have been publishing stuff since 2002. I keep knocking. Sorry, if you hear like weird, we can't hear it because I just keep knocking the microphone. So if you're hearing weird noises, that's just me.
Transporting Southeast. Secret. Fair dues. I look forward to that.
What's that? Are you doing this thing that we're having to deny that we may or may not be doing as well? It'd be interesting. Actually, we may or may not see you in Foley.
Might be a Facebook chat conversation in private, that one, I think.
Yeah, because you'll have signed the same non-disclosure agreement as allegedly other people may have done. Let's have a look. Aaron Izzard. Oh, hello, Miss J. Oh, I like being called Miss J. That makes you sound really young and not middle-aged and 40. Yes. I still, actually, my title, when people ask me my title on like official documents, I still put myself down as Miss. Because there's... I think now I've passed from being like the you're like young and vibrant and definitely thinner than you look. You know, the camera adds £10 and there's probably about 40 cameras on me. What was I talking about? Yes. Meanwhile,
Well,
back at the ranch.
As far as Biggest Little Railway, we have absolute no knowledge of a season 2 on that ourselves. So if you do. It did get then, I mean,
let us know.
They could very well be right. I mean, we jest about different projects and things like that, and we jest a lot. But no, genuinely, we have no idea about a second series of that. So
Biggest Little Railway. They told me never a second series. There were a few ideas banded around. One of which was to do transcontinental American Railroad in model form and have like Brits versus Americans building towards each other. So effectively, your Golden Spike ceremony would be dependent on how well each team worked. That it was really just ideas.
I can see that just turn into a second American Civil War. To be honest with you.
Let's have a look. Aaron Izzard. I'm just sitting here watching the stream whilst the Medusa Touch plays on the TV. Not heard of that one. Sparky 107. Jenny, being in Canada, I never did see the TV show you were in. I find it online now? Now, I know it is in syndication, which means that it is slowly getting shown around the world.
If you can get access to, because
4OD, it lives on 4OD.
Now, it does, but I'm pretty sure that, is it CBS? One, because I know obviously from Canada you get a lot of the American channels, and I think if you look on, I'm not sure if it's CBS, but one of the American channels that does all of their videos online, they do share a lot of 4OD stuff. They have a British section in there.
I know that it has been syndicated, and at the moment, if you're in Australia, one of the Australian national TV channels is showing Biggest Little Railway, or has just shown it. Because I started getting people from Australia going, "Oh, I've just seen you on the telly," and I believe that it was definitely syndicated into America, so it has been shown in America. I don't know which channel, and that would mean that it may have been shown in Canada. But if you can, the best way to do it is if you're very techno literate and you can spoof your IP, so you can kid 4OD into believing that you are based in the UK. Biggest Little Railway lives on late night showing on More 4 is the channel, but it means that it keeps ending up on 4OD, which is their catch-up service. So if you know how to spoof your IP to pretend that you're in Britain, you can watch it.
Because the thing is about 4OD is that they never actually delete anything. It's always there somewhere if you know where to look for it.
Right, let's have a look. Dunja Wood Model Railway. I was told electrical shorts can mess with some decoder settings. Yeah, I think you can actually wipe a decoder.
Yes.
DCC concept to do a suppressor to avoid damage to the chips. Hi, by the way. Well, hi to you. Always good to have new people on, and also good to have people returning too. Don't forget that you can watch these videos. They go up as just an ordinary video on YouTube afterwards, so you can catch up with any that you've missed. I think we're up to numbers either 22 or 23 in the series. Let's have a look.
Okay, Morty. Do you know something? Occasionally, when writing my name, even I write brains instead of Brian.
What should people search on YouTube?
You're best off, because if you actually put the link in and then find it first, it's so much easier. And it's Northcote Road. There we go. And first on top. There we go. That's the easiest way to do it. Now, there's not really. It's basically about a layout that is not finished yet. All right. This is like showing a little bit of progress each time they've done a video.
That's his channel, by the way, everybody. Northcote Road, and you can see it how it's spelt there. So that's Brian's channel, and to the best of my knowledge, Les does not have his own YouTube channel.
No, I don't believe he does. Pre-warning in advance, obviously I'm completely new to doing YouTube with the different videos that I've made and things, so it's coming along slowly if you just bear with us. But yeah, there'll be a lot more updates. You can tell by like the videos, my stuff is mainly modern day DCC sound fitted and mostly sort of like DMUs and things like that. Plenty of 37s on there as well, but at the moment I need to redo the top level, which is actually the main line basically, because it's on different levels, and it's a very small layout. Gone out of the way to try and prove what you can do with a space as short as 8 by 6 foot. So it's not that much bigger than a Hornby track mat really. What's that, 6x4 Hornby track mat? So it's like an extra 2 foot.
Right.
But being able to do that on different levels and things, it's very, very challenging, because the amount of space that you've got means to get from one level to another, that's very steep inclines, so to be able to hide them and things like that, and then using these woodland scenics razors and things like that, and actually getting tractors stick to that stuff is not easy.
Right.
So yeah.
Anyway, let's have a look. Ham Shackleton, I've got 13 books in print. Snap, same as me.
Well done.
But it won't be fit to plug them on your channel. Yeah, go on then. Yeah, plug them away. You got me to plug my. Oh, and all right. The ones I really recommend are all of them. Actually, no, these 5 are the ones. These are. These are really good selling books to the point where. At one point, Warner Brother Pictures were considering whether they were going to option these, and I still haven't heard back from them. But I do know that Warner Brothers Pictures were reading these books. So, make of that what you will. Maybe they read hundreds of books. Maybe they just thought, oh, well, that'll be good. If we run out of bog roll, we can use that in the bogs. But yeah, plug your books by all means. You have my permission. Let's have a look. Leslie Gilpin, 4 railway books here since the 1990s. Yeah, feel free to plug them. Tell everybody what you've written, because I'd be interested to know. Fat Wallet Boy 2, off topic slightly. If you're a writer, what's the bit in your intro where you're driving what looks like a big wagon? Basically, that's actually about 10 years ago now. And I've worked on and off for a company called PKE Lighting, and they do all the outside broadcast stuff, and that wagon belonged to them. So that was me on my way to, I can't even remember what the trip was. I think it was actually going to QVC with stuff, but that's where that's from. You may have noticed I look considerably younger and somewhat thinner in that bit of video. It's just a random piece of video. So just went out and filmed some stuff. It was fun. Right, Owen's Railway. Bye, Jenny. Oh, sad to see you go, but I do know people dip in and out. Yeah. Don't worry about it. You can also catch up on YouTube with the full video. Let's just see if we can.
For the book side of it as well, I used to do different spotters books, Eddie Stobart ones. The guide to spotting green trucks so that I wouldn't get in the way of any copyrights.
Would that be Eddie Stobart by any chance?
It certainly would, yes. I made a living off that for a good few years. And I did all kinds of bus spotting, train spotting, plane spotting books. In fact, just about anything that you take down a number from. So yeah, I used to do those. So that was quite a few books myself.
Let's have a look. Duffins GWR. Jenny, as your shed is being gutted, shouldn't you rename these streams to Loft Chats? Yeah, it's an interesting point actually. Maybe we'll have a series. We'll at some point put a close to Shed Chat. When I actually the long-term plan is to move Shed Chat into the loft, and as I build the layout, no, seriously, bear with me on this. We're going to put cameras into the model. So they're just little tiny cameras, and we're going to have the means whereby I can flick between different camera angles with the trains going round, as well as a main camera on me, and they will become Loft Chats. At that point, I think we'll probably draw a line under Shed Chat, and then it'll be Series 2 Loft Chat. So that is the plan, but at the moment, Shed Chat just rolls.
You'll never get me in the loft.
Yeah, he's got vertigo. He's wanting me to put a blooming stair lift.
Me, ladders that far high up. No.
What else have we got? Going on to 1259. Bob Hayworth. Depends on whether they are 12-volt bulbs and if your supply is 12-volt DC. Yeah, this is to do with the lighting again. You basically need to know what voltage your lights work. So putting them in series may alleviate the need to use resistors, but you've got to know what voltage they are.
Act like I know what you're on about. Yeah. Angus's train's high.
Angus's train's good to have you aboard. Always, I think you've been on every single Shed Chat live. It's always good to see you. He lives near the Richmond Vale Railway in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
So he's our regular correspondent from the world of Australian preservation. Let's have a look. Leslie Gilpin, good point, Sparky. Is Great Model Railway Challenge 1 on YouTube? I wouldn't have thought it's on YouTube. But
it's definitely, if you've got Sky, it's definitely on catch up, because I recently watched it again. I was sat at home bored. You know what I mean? I was thinking, dodgy films. Yeah, Sky Movies has a
Dodgy films.
no, we know just rubbish, cheap ones. I mean, Sky Movies, you think, oh yeah, get all the best films and everything, and you pay for it, and it gives you a new, what's it called? You know, a new debut film each day. The only problem is sometimes they're a bit rubbish. Yeah, and they bypass the cinema. And I was bored one day.
Direct to DVD.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I looked on Catch Up, and it's definitely there if you've got Sky anyway.
Train Sporting Southeast. I will say yes or no. It might have to be a private Facebook chat. Well. We may or may not see you somewhere else later in the year, but we can't really talk about it. Let's have a look. Max's Hobby Productions. Thank you. I'm constructing a 3-rail layout on a 4x3 sheet of 3/4 inch ply. Might want to convert to battery power soon. What is the best minimum voltage for Hornby 00 layout? Would 4.5 volts work? Right, I can answer this. Because for many, many years, my father and I did Hornby 00. What I would say is 4.5 volts probably isn't enough. They're quite power hungry, and whilst some locomotives in tip-top shape with a rewound armature and in pristine, clean condition would work quite happily on low voltages, you would find most locomotives would struggle, because that's like barely more than a third of maximum voltage. Hornby 00 trains were not noted for being able to run on like, you couldn't really get them to run that slowly most of the time. So I would say you'd be pushing it on 4.5 volts. You really want to be able to get the full 12 volts if you can. Sparky 107, thank you for the information. We'll have a search for it. Well, good luck for that. Let us know how that goes on. Max's Hobby Productions. Can BLR be seen on Amazon Prime US? Also opinions on the Grand Tour ending. I've never watched Grand Tour, I have to be honest. For me, Top Gear died when they left the BBC. I heard rumours it was ending. I think all things come to an end, but they really...
I haven't seen the last series of Grand Tour, but I mean, I was following it for a while, and I thought it was okay, but...
It's lost some of the magic.
Yeah, they weren't obviously they weren't allowed to take certain things away from from Top Gear, and I think that just kind of ruined it for them. I think, but
yeah, apparently you've got more subscribers, so let's just refresh that. Says 22 there, 27 there.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I promise I will make it worth your while.
Yeah, release some content. That's what people want.
I did a week ago, and yeah.
Yeah, you need more content. I do 3 times a week. It's right. Anyway, Gonads 1259. Completely agree with you. You'll need 12 volt for Hornby 00 to run off a battery. 4.5 volts isn't going to cut it unless you get one in pristine condition, and they're few and far between. Even if you refurbish them, it's very rare to get one that works as well. Timber Surface subbed to you. Devon's GWR's subbed. Brockwell Lane's just subbed.
Did you get a Bachmann warship recently?
Me?
Yeah.
I not recently. I bought Kelly, the Class 42 Kelly, and this was the first Class 42 warship that Bachmann did DCC fitted. And I got it because it was dirt cheap from Hatton's. They were having one of their fire sales, and I think I paid about £50 for it, brand new.
Right.
DCC chipped. And for many years it ran on DC. I didn't use the chip. But now I've gone DCC. I've actually... it runs lovely on the chip that's in it.
If the new ones that are out at the moment, because I mean I think it's Hatton's again that's got them on sale actually.
They usually do.
There was something on Facebook the other day, and I'm sure it was a Hatton's site, and they've got warships at the moment. It's not Kelly. There's 3 different ones, and they're all weathered versions, but they actually look really good.
Is Zulu one of them?
I can't remember, to be honest with you, because it's a little bit before my era, for modelling. So, but at the same time, if they've retooled it, don't worry, because the warship design itself is so basic that the older versions, the really older versions that Bachmann did, actually still look the part. There's not that much difference.
It was a good model back in its day. They got it pretty right.
It's very much a simple model to get right. And I had one of the original ones, and they were fantastic, run perfectly well.
I mean, the one I've got, Kelly, is a really good model, and I've had it a good few years now. probably about 5, maybe 6 years.
Yeah.
So if you're buying it new now, you're going to get the newer model, and it's a pretty good model. It's one of the good go-to Bachmann models that they've had in the range for a long, long time, and I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. Wolfie Wolf, hi to you. Hi, Jenny, and hello, man sitting next to Jenny. This is Brian. I keep mentioning this.
Hi, how are you doing?
People come and go.
Yeah.
Brian, everybody.
No
Everybody knows who I am. I walked around Ali Pally and I kept getting stopped by people. It was humbling to meet so many people.
I'm surprised you can get through the doorway with the size of your swelling head.
You know how you said you wanted to be using my spare room tonight, so you didn't have to go all the way back to Preston?
Oh, after I've had a drink, that would be a very scary long walk.
You walked to Preston. You barely walked to the end of the road.
Charming.
I know. Right. Sparky 107. That is an idea, Philip. If you see a name in the chat you don't know, check them out. Go back after Jenny's stream, and if you like what you see, hit that red button. Yeah, certainly. I like the community that we're getting here with Shed Chat Live. It's drawn a lot of people together, and it's not just me connecting with the people who watch my videos, but it's the people who watch my videos connecting with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the live chat actually brings to this hobby. And
it's a bit like being in a Facebook group for modelers, but at the same time you've got the sort of like the intimate chat going on as well, and things like that, and different subjects being brought up in the way that they are, not just by us, but by yourselves in the chat as well. So yeah, it really is a good medium. I mean, I learned a few bits and pieces myself from last time I was here. So yeah.
Right, let's have a look down. Mr. Choo Choo. Hi peeps, just over the border in North Yorkshire. The People's Republic of Yorkshire. I was going to ask a few videos back. Jenny said she was going to work later in the day. I wonder what this work is or was, David. It's either going to have been the thing we're not allowed to talk about, or it would have been writing jobs. I think I was probably on deadline for an article for either Modelliernes Fagsmagasinet. Good magazine if you ever get a chance to look at it. It's all in Swedish, and they're good pictures. And I write for them as well, which is really good. Or MRE Mag. I think I promised Alex Croft an article, and I was probably on deadline for that. So that would have been possibly what it was. Or it might have been something to do with Zoe. I help her out a lot with her politics, like giving her lifts and stuff.
Leslie Gilpin. Okay, let's have a look. My Cumbrian Railway album is out now in print. Oh, right, okay.
But right.
Yeah.
Also, Ulverston and Lancaster, all from Cumbrian Railways Association. Oh, excellent.
Nice.
Because they're always really handy guides. I've got a few books in my collection, which are mostly like a pictorial history of railways around Manchester, that kind of thing. And they're really good reference materials.
They are indeed,
It's great that people like yourself put these together and get them out there, because they are an invaluable research tool for people doing models, but also, from interest point of view.
There's some behind the scenes GMRC vids on YouTube. Is there indeed? Oh, I've not seen those.
I've seen some,
Really?
not on YouTube. I get them direct from source because I know people who are on it. I've seen somebody's stuff that people like filmed on their iPhone.
Yeah.
I've also seen a lot of behind-the-scenes footage from Biggest Little Railway as well, and I've also seen some footage that never made the final cut, but I don't have a lot of it to hand. I've got about maybe a minute and a half of the cut footage that I've gleaned from various sources, and then stuff that people took on iPhones, and some that I filmed myself as well.
Yeah.
Philip Page, 9 volts should work. Yeah, I think this Hornby 00. I think some locomotives might push it, but remagnetise them, rewind the armatures if needs be, clean out your commutator, and that will also pull down the amount of voltage that they're going to need. Let's have a look. Train Sporting Southeast. Well, I just checked my forms. I signed for this show. I will not, yes or no. I got baseboards for this show. Right. So we know what show you're doing. Yeah. If you. Did your just hypothetically? I wonder how I can phrase this. Did your baseboards arrive all right? They weren't damaged in transit or anything, or
warps, bits missing,
missing legs.
Yeah.
Still waiting for your legs by any chance?
Really sort of crap worksmanship.
Not.
Yeah.
We may or may not be. Are you all right?
Different, yeah. More
Right, no
something. You mean me by any
I've
chance?
just
Because
gotta-
mine's a brand new channel, so that won't surprise me.
Say,
Bye-bye, folks. They're letting me go home now.
yes, we're letting
beaten
Les
to a
out of the
pulp.
dungeon. Yes, and we've just managed to get enough talcum powder together to get him out of the rubber suit.
Are you available tomorrow night?
See you later, Les.
Tomorrow's
So yeah, let's see. We're having a look back through that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what we need to do really, if possible, if you can get hold of me on Facebook, Train Sport in South East, might be an interesting conversation. That definitely. Yeah. Obviously, only can say so much. So yeah. But yeah, so yeah, different. I'm assuming you mean me there by the amount of subs. Yeah, mine's a brand new channel, so yeah, it doesn't really take much to have more subscribers than me. Let's have a look. And Philip Page, you subbed a couple of weeks ago. Yes, certainly did. Let's have a look. Carol Taylor, hi, how are you doing? Ham Shackleton, don't know what happened. You went off for a minute. God knows, that's YouTube life for you, I'm afraid. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Yeah, don't worry about being late on, Carol. We were actually pretty much on time though tonight, which makes a change. Obviously, the what's it called now? OBS, the program that's used for getting online doesn't always work straight off. So yeah, yeah. My channel. Train Sport in South East is actually on the main page that you can see, Northcote Road. It's got a Northcote Road adapted northern station sign as the logo for that. And thank you, Mr. Choo Choo. I will get round to doing more content. It's a bit difficult with different things going on at the moment. Very, very busy, the three of us at the moment. With various other things, but promise we'll get that done. Let's have a look, see what else we've got. Let's lean over here. Sorry if I catch the mic and make it make silly sounds. Being crew for Sparky. You've got tickets to the UK. You'll be in crew for August and Southwest Birmingham. Okay. Right. Crew and southwest of Birmingham. Well, Crew's the closest to here where Jenny's based. So I shall pass that on Sparky when she comes back upstairs in a couple of minutes' time. Okay. Leslie Gilpin. This is better than a real one. Thank you. Do you know something that means a lot? Because the Model Railway Club that I was last at, which was one in Preston, I shall leave it completely nameless to protect the innocent, was basically like an OAP sewing circle. To the point where it was a case of, I'm not paying £18 a month for this. Fantastic people that were there, but some of them were just a bit Alf-Garnet. Yeah, so you walk through the door and they look what colour shoes you're wearing, kind of thing. So yeah, some of them clubs are absolutely ridiculous. However, some of them are really good though as well. Sparky, Cardiff being the other place. Cardiff's probably the furthest away out of the three you mentioned. Crew's actually the closest. All right. Let's have a look. Graf, hi, how are you doing? Jenny will be back in the room in a second. She just nipped downstairs to let Les out the door because he's going home.
Yeah, we broke him out from the dungeons.
Yeah. Paul Armstrong, how are you doing?
Any more gossip come out?
Is whiskey out yet? It was earlier on, actually, funny enough.
We've already had our fill of whiskey. And sake as well. And it's.
I didn't. I know what sake's like. I wasn't going to touch it.
Can I just say, just a word of warning to you? Unless you like rancid tasting alcohol, sake is probably best avoided. And it was a good brand. I got it from the Chinese wholesaler. Well, the Oriental Foods wholesalers at Wing Yip, I
The
think.
thing is that you know when if you've got
Smells
cats,
like cat
and
wee.
you know when
And it doesn't taste any better. No, I have never tasted cat wee.
But you know when the cat litter tray is past the point of needs changing,
When
and
it honks.
and you get that
And that,
at the back of your
that
throat.
ammonia tang.
That is what sake tastes like. It is disgusting. Carol Taylor, Notre Dame Cathedral is on fire. No hope of saving it.
What?
Now, is it really getting that bad? I mean, it looked bad earlier when we looked at it, but it's very, very sorry state. That really is, honestly.
I'm actually quite gutted about that because, you know...
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Is it that bad?
Oh, it would just... Oh, no! Oh, the spire... Oh! The spire's just collapsed. Oh!
That is rather bad. That really is.
I'm on the verge of tears.
Yeah. Oh.
The spire's
God.
collapsed.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That
Really bad.
is really, really bad.
800 and... Oh, no. This is like...
That's terrible news, that is.
I'm on the verge of tears. That really upsets me. I don't know what to say. That's. I was hoping that they... I mean...
The fire earlier did seem... when we had
It
look
was
last,
quite
it
bad
was bad,
earlier.
but it was still one area, you know what I mean? But yeah.
The trouble is, 850-year-old, very dry timber.
Yeah.
You would have hoped... Well, you would have hoped that maybe there'd have been some kind of fire suppression, but maybe there isn't.
I want to dig out some of my photographs from Notre Dame from last time I went, I think, and put them on Facebook later on.
That is very upsetting to see that. But, yeah.
Yeah. Very upsetting.
Right. Sparky 107. I don't know what you've actually read. Ah, right.
Oh yeah, no, he was asking. He'll be in the UK from August the 6th and 7th in Crewe, and the 8th and 10th in Birmingham, and then I think it's in Cardiff as well. So, and he was asking which one was close to you, and said Crewe's the nearest.
Crewe's the nearest, but it's quite a trek. I'm north of Manchester, in a place called Bolton. So Crewe's the nearest, but when you do go to Crewe, go to the Heritage Centre. Well worth having a look.
Yeah, if you have a look on on their website, actually, it's this time of the year now where they start having lots of different events each weekend as well. And there's a lot of weekends that they do have events, and they're open. I think they're open every weekend, and they've got a little miniature railway that they put out as well. It's actually quite. I know it's meant for kids and what have you, but actually the way that they have set up, it's actually quite an interesting ride on that. Because obviously it's built to take adults as well, and yes, the adult train spotters get in on it. But yeah, no, that's quite an interesting one, and they quite often have a couple of vintage buses there at weekends and things like that. And of course, you've got the APT, the failed intercity train. That the design was a complete failure of. That is also there as well, and you can go and sit on there, and you can sit in the actual carriages there and watch the trains going by on the West Coast Main Line. Always worth a visit. Spent a lot of time there myself over the years, so yeah, if you get a chance to do that, highly recommended.
Dragon Junction, talking about Notre Dame, collapsing in on itself. I don't know what to say. I mean, I am actually really upset. I've never visited Notre Dame Cathedral, but it's it's iconic. It's been there for 850 years. It'd be interesting to know how it caught fire, because the video and the photographs, it's not like it's been hit by lightning or anything. And if it turns out somebody's deliberately set that, then all I can hope is that they find the person and beat 3 shades of shite out of them.
It is quite possible it could be something simple, like electrical
fault.
Fire, something like that.
Yeah.
Very, very, very sad to
Yeah, social media's just started to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a look. Looks like the site is corrupted. The US. Which one's that, Ham Shackleton? Is that one of the links I gave, or somebody else in the chat room, let me know. Apologies, we are still a little bit behind on chat. I'm catching up with that. Let's have a look. We had a bit of a busy night tonight. So, Brockwell Lane, what's my favourite model? Well, this is an interesting one because I have...
you like all the modern stuff,
I like all the modern stuff, yeah, I do. I really do. Yeah, too many to mention, but at the moment, I have to say the one thing at the moment that does have me kind of really pleased that I picked it up as cheap as what I did as well, is my Network Southeast 101, my Batman 101. That's fitted with the passengers and things like that,
and the sound.
And the sound with two iPhone
Actually,
speakers.
yeah, out of all the stuff that you've got, that's probably my favourite as well.
It's closest to your era of modelling out the stuff that I have.
That and the 55 you had off me is quite a nice model. But I think
which I don't have anymore.
Oh, you sold it?
Yeah.
After you begged me to sell that to you?
Only simply because I have a replacement on the way. And somebody wanted it simply because of the twin iPhone speakers in it.
Right.
And the replacement, I've always got the detail
so that's
kit.
The second loco that you've begged me to sell to you, and you've then immediately sold on, because Loch Rannoch was the other one, the Class 37. You begged me to sell you that.
Actually, yeah, I think you palmed that one off. I think.
No.
You
said you really wanted it off me, and I ummed and ahed because that I would quite, I said I wasn't so bothered about the. Have you still got the 50 as well?
I've got the chassis from it. I've not got the bod. No, so yeah, no, I've got
what
the.
What do you do to these things?
No, because the 50 has chassis rot.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, glad I sold it then.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Yeah, the 50 was doomed.
You're off the...
Which way are you dragging me?
Yeah,
the 50 was doomed.
Come to me, little boy. Somebody will have that as their ringtone.
Yeah, the 37. That was the 37 was for an upgrade, if you remember, from Lochright to East Lancashire Railway EWS1 with the expensive sound chip.
Right. Yeah, upgrade. What else did you buy off me that you flogged on? Oh, those wagons. You had all my EWS wagons as well.
Yeah, I've still got all them. I haven't sold any of those.
What? Oh, I'm being really rude. I've basically got him to talk whilst I'm catching up on social media.
Okay, just wondering where I go to get a pair of BR line decals online that are Engage.
Engage? Oh, leave me alone, people.
No, not you. The phone.
People heard it ding.
Yeah. Engage decals. That's a good question, actually. Engage decals. Where's the best place for those?
I've no idea, to be honest. That's a bit tiny.
Yeah. Not so sure on that one. I hope somebody in the chat room can help you out with that one. We both do 00, and Jenny also does O gauge. So let me just try and scroll this down. Yeah, 200 years of history going up. It is very, very sad. That really is, Carol. Yes. Careless worker during renovation work. No, that's not good at all.
Yeah, that's just like.
If that's true, that's terrible. Okay, Barnabas is taking you to the Heritage Museum, Sparky. Well, you'll definitely enjoy that. Which one is this? Is this the one in Crewe? If it is, you really will enjoy it. I promise you that much. And the Growler, Bolton, yes, Fred Dibner territory. It really is, yes. Definitely. There's still quite a few people around that have the same accent, isn't there?
What, Fred Dibner?
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
lad.
Yeah.
Hey, Bargum. I
It's,
didn't know that's Yorkshire, isn't it?
yeah.
I can't really actually do a Bolton accent. I used to. I mean, this is the weird thing about accents. When I was growing up, I had quite a broad Boltonian accent, and then I went through elocution lessons, and trying to when I worked on radio, I didn't like local accents.
Yeah.
So it was kind of elocutioned out of me. So now I talk slightly posh, but I cannot do my old Bolton accent. And when I listen to recordings, it's weird because I have not a really broad Bolton accent, but I had, you can hear it there. It's a bit like a little bit of a twang, and it's not there anymore.
Me and accents is rather weird because I pick up accents like that, and I've lived in so many different places, pretty much every corner of the country, moving around for work and things like that. And give me 2 weeks living anywhere in the UK, and I will pick up that accent. That's just me. Let's have a look. Keep going, YouTube. We all feel the same. Live news as well. Pure Entertainment. Well, thank you very much, Ralph. Thank you. Very much appreciated. But at the same time, it's a very sad time, obviously, with what's happening in Paris, and yeah, it's not good. The corruption. Right, for the link for your books. Right, yeah, we will get that sorted though. There, I think that you should be able to get a link up for that. It'd be nice to be able to share that. I mean, we've been doing that with different books and things tonight, and well, pretty much we can share anything that you have that you want to plug. Feel free. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, yeah. Cardiff, what's on in Cardiff? Well, actually, railway-wise, is about to change quite dramatically in Cardiff. I don't know whether or not you're aware of this, but the Class 37s on the local old services to Rimney are about to return in a few weeks' time. And Colas Rail have the contract. Now, they're using 37 418 and 421, but they need a third loco because they need to be ETH or ETS fitted to be able to do things like door locks. It's basically electric train supply, or used to be known as electric heating supply, electric train heat. And basically it's having an extra socket on the loco and being able to supply power to the coaches to be able to do various different things. Previously it was just for the heating of the carriages, and then of course now it's for things like door locks and anything that's on there basically that's electrical. So they need to be class 37/4s. And they only have 2 Colas, so that means they've got to hire another one in, plus running round at the other end as well. So it's going to be interesting. I think quite a few freight locos are going to appear on the other end of the coaching stock, and having to hire in another 37/4 from DRS, and that will probably change quite often. Also to note as well for Cardiff is that they're going to be using redundant Great Western HST sets on Holyhead to Cardiff trains, as well as the current setup with the Class 67 and the Mark 3s and DBT. So they're going to be running still as well, but they're also going to be using HSTs that have been basically made redundant by Great Western, because there's not that many more going to Scotland now. They don't need that many more in the fleet, so there's going to be plenty left spare. So Cardiff coming up this summer could be an interesting place to be. They're getting all kinds of things from Northern unit-wise. All of their fleet is disappearing off for having work done to them and being brought up to date. So Cardiff is going to be full of Northern Rail liveried Class 142s and 144s. It's going to be full of HSTs with Transport for Wales badges on them. Whether or not they get full repaints or not, don't know, we'll have to wait and see. And Class 37s again on the Cardiff Valleys again. So it's very interesting times.
Sorry, I glazed over. I glazed over in part. I've just discovered that I can get the comments up on my phone.
Brilliant! Because we're getting very behind on this. We've had a lot to talk about tonight, so apologies if we've missed anything.
And there's 53 people watching at this precise moment.
Really?
53 people.
Wow!
So hello to you all.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do tend to lurk, and to be honest, it's what I do as well.
Yeah.
That's really weird. There's a delay as well. I'm looking on the phone. Oh, that's a big gesture, woman.
Oh, that'll be it now. They're a new toy now.
Yeah.
Just constantly waving.
Look, wait for the wave. Wait for the wave.
Can't quite see
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh, there you go. You got my wave then.
Right.
So
let's
anyway,
see.
but yeah. So we'll try and if we can try and scroll down these comments. And
There we go.
see.
There are wave. Sorry, new toy.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, let's have a look. Big event at York over the Easter period. At NR,
Yeah.
York Model Railway Show.
Yeah.
Open weekend Easter like Ali Pally. All right. Yeah. Max Hobbies Productions. I hope some of the Class 37s get preserved. Actually, quite a few of them are already
I think you'll
preserved.
find that actually some of them have been in preservation, come back out again to go back on the main line, but will be going back in preservation when they finish them. In total, I think surviving there's going to be about, I don't know, maybe about 50 of them.
There's a lot preserved. I mean, it's not a class that's poorly provided for. I mean, it's not like, for example, your Class 15 or your Class 28, where there is a single surviving example, or how many 42s survive? Is it 2 or 1?
2.
Because there's Foxhound. What's the other? Onslaught.
No, Greyhound and Onslaught.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Greyhound and it is Greyhound, isn't it? Yeah.
Because
it is. Yeah, it's.
Is that the one that was preserved because BR accidentally scrapped the Class 22 that they'd actually bought?
That's the one. Yeah.
And even though, because back then you bought them for the value of the scrap, so a heavier locomotive cost more because there was more scrap in it. And BR accidentally cut up the Class 22 that was bought and paid for, so it didn't actually belong to them. So BR had to give them they offered them the Class 42 at no extra cost, even though technically it should have cost a lot more because it weighed a lot more, in fully working order, plus a huge cache of spare parts.
Yeah, it was a complete 38-foot container rammed full of parts.
Yeah, because BR was done with the 42, so they basically got all of the leftover parts that would have otherwise gone for scrap. And the only reason they got that was because BR had cut up the Class 22, which is a shame in a way because it means that no 22s survive, but they got a 42 in full working order with a lot of spares.
Yeah. Train Sport in South East. Seriously. Brian Long on Facebook. Look us up. Let me have a look, see what
Morty UK, being a Royal Air Force kid, aka RAF brat. I know. I went out at university with an army brat, so I know about that lifestyle. And actually, Zoe's.
If I can, where's the camera? Up there. That is my Facebook profile there for Train Sport in South East, and we'll discuss that.
Okay.
A lot safer.
Morty UK. Right. Yeah. I pick up accents all the time. People think I'm taking the mick. Actually, I get that. There's a thing for it. I found out a while ago. There's a name for it, and I can't remember what it is. But if you start to assimilate the accent of the person you're talking to, you're not taking the rip. I do it as well, and I find myself being able to do accents which I can never do unless I'm talking to somebody with accents. So I was talking to a guy, it was like Glaswegian, like, see you, Jimmy. See you.
That is absolutely nothing like a Glaswegian accent.
But you know what I mean? But
apologies to anyone from Glasgow.
Yeah. Like I've seen theirs, but. And
see, that wasn't far off. I mean, I lived in Scotland for a few years. That's not that far off for a Glasgow.
It's not bad, Rab.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad, Rab. But I can't normally really do that accent. But I was talking to this guy, and he was really broad Glaswegian, and I could hear myself slipping into this like Glaswegian. I can't do it when I'm not around Glaswegians, but and I thought, oh my god, he's going to think I'm taking the rip, and he's a Glaswegian, so he knows how to kiss. Stitch that, Gemma. Yeah, Morty UK. My wife can tell who I've been talking to. Yeah, I sympathise.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Choo Choo, I believe there was some work being done on the cathedral. Oh yeah, the Notre Dame thing. Yeah. Still gutted about the Notre Dame thing. Philip Page, will we ever see a 43 at Piccadilly? Do you mean
the HSTs? Because if so,
we'll never see a Class 43 warship because they've all been scrapped.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that you mean what you call it. So you mean HST? Obviously, there used to be quite a regular feature at Manchester Piccadilly.
Yeah, I remember taking them from there.
It still happens occasionally. Cross-country trains. They actually quite often will substitute units that because obviously they use Voyagers, and they only have, I think it's 4 sets, 3 sets, something like that they have out each day.
Yeah.
I think it's 4 sets, I think. But occasionally they do get switched round. It's only a couple of months ago that a cross-country set was in Piccadilly. And as far as the Transport for Wales sets goes, I don't know what the plan is for that, whether or not there's going to be the Manchester diagrams as well or not. It'd be advisable because they're very busy services, so it's possible. What's his space?
Devan's GWR, are you taking the P? More effing pacers. We have enough. That'd be what
I
you would...
know. Listen, the thing is, right, I'm really going to upset you now, Diffin, right? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, by the way. It's quite shameful if I don't.
Who's this, sorry?
Diffin?
Devan. It's Welsh.
I know.
I'm assuming I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, I apologise if believe it or not.
And I apologise if I'm pronouncing it right.
Believe it or not, but my mother's called Gwyneth. So I should really be able to pronounce Welsh names properly, so I apologise for that.
Oh, also, Mr. Dreaded 88, what's the drink? Yeah. It's Tsingtao 1903. They're just trying to get out of the shine from the light. And this is, you can get the ordinary Tsingtao. I love saying that name. Since I learned how it's pronounced. Tsingtao. Since I always loved Tsingtao beer. I'm going to wear that word out. Tsingtao, Tsingtao. I always loved it, and then you start getting it now in all the supermarkets. But this is the stronger version.
Yeah.
So that's what we're on.
But just to upset Diffin even further, what we're saying, actually, me and a friend of mine was actually thinking about the possibility of actually buying one. When they come up for sale, I know it sounds totally ridiculous, but it's a friend of mine that owns the Green Goddess 101, 101685. That's now called Daisy on the side. It's a good friend of mine, John Ashton.
I remember riding on that back in the day because it worked through Bromley Cross, which was my local station.
Now he had a bit of a problem when he bought that because he bought it fairly cheap, believe it or not. And at the time, well, actually, not long after he got his, there was some that were offered really, really cheap. And therefore, preservation was flooded with them, and he actually found it really difficult to find somewhere to house it. And this is a 101 unit, which now they'd probably be fighting over, but at the time, because they'd been withdrawn from traffic and, basically, company wanted shut of them ASAP, so they were actually difficult to get them housed. However, there's quite a few preserved railways that actually want a 142 or a 144, and the reason is not really to do with preservation itself. It's to do with doing the job that they were built for, because not a lot of preserved lines actually have the ways and means of running a cheap commuter service to earn money during the week without all the bells and whistles.
It basically gives them an option to run a service.
Yeah, so places like Midland Railway Centre that have done it with the 141, and 141s are terrible, they rot like mad. I mean,
they're a Leyland National bus on a rail freight VDA chassis.
The thing is, I like things like that simply because they're crap.
Weird.
I've always been one liking the underdog kind of thing. I appreciate the fact that they're complete rubbish, but at the same time, it's because these sort of things are the kind of things that, 20 years ago, people were saying that they really miss certain other things that were taken for granted, like the fact that 10,000 was offered for free to a preservationist who worked on the railway, well, a would-be preservationist. He was a railway manager, and it sat, was it 10,000? 10,00001. And it sat at the back of Wills.
LMS diesel?
Yeah, it sat at the back of Willesden's shed for months, rotting away, and then they went, forget it and scrap it. Now there's a group now dedicated to rebuilding one from scratch using a Class 58 chassis. So it just proves that even though that was a really rubbish train, basically, years and years down the line, it's still good to have one of everything that has been saved, even if they are rubbish. So possibly, sorry Diffan, I know you hate Pacers, in many ways so do I.
Train Sporting South East, I am working on secret project.
Yeah, keep going on about it. People are going to start asking questions.
Oh, look at me, I'm zippy long stocking.
Yeah. You've seen my Facebook link. we'll chat.
Yeah,
on there.
talk in private because you've had to sign some
There
NDA.
are far too many questions being asked.
Yeah, right. Apparently, Mr. Dreaded 88 says, "Cool pick, Brian." Was that his mugshot or the banner at the top?
Oh yeah, the banner on the Northcote Road or on my Facebook profile, one of the two.
Oh, then we got Tom G Soft Talk ASMR. Hello to you. How is your garden railway O gauge progressing? Any new videos planned for that? It's taken a back burner whilst I've been working hard in the loft, and I'm currently on filming the next update video in the loft. We had one out on Friday. You can also look back through, I think it's about 9 videos now, showing the amazing progress from just bare loft with nothing, not even lined out, to what I've got now. So I am filming more footage for some really exciting developments, actually, with ballasting and some of the scenic detail on the incline. So that's really come along really well. But until I reach a point where I can kind of coast a little bit more up there, I'm afraid the O-gauge layout has taken a back seat. And probably when the better weather comes, I'll use it more. But yeah, it's... I need to film some trains going by videos.
It is quite sad. I mean, you can see it on the CCTV from here.
Yeah,
and
you can.
It's covered in leaves and things, and it needs
bit,
ballasting and what have you. But at the same time, really looking forward to to seeing that.
I think in summer when we have barbecues here, it's going to be quite nice. But just get that running and
little tank loco with a sound chip in it. Just
I don't want a sound chip in the O-gauge, I have to say, because I don't want to advertise to the
to the locals
local scrotage and scumbags on the other side of the fence. Oh look, there's something worth nicking there. Yeah. And they probably all talk with that silly voice as well. Alan Reynolds. Hi folks, has Jenny tried using J-cloths with PVA for scenic papier-mâché work? I'm still in the loft now, completed 7 metres of 20 of tail chaser layouts. Regard Al FH12. I haven't used that. I'm actually working my way through. I've got a load of Woodland Scenics products. I did see your posts about that, and it certainly sounds pretty interesting, but PVA is something I've got in very short supply at the moment, so that would be bringing a little bit of an issue there. So I'm just working through the Woodland Scenic material that I've got. I may try the J-cloth method later on. I've certainly got a few other bits and pieces that I want to give a try out to. In fact, actually, a big plug for the Woodland Scenics range. It's well worth having a punt through their full range. They're primarily sold on the American market, and they're just starting to come through to the UK. But it's well worth researching what some of the products are, because they don't exactly sell themselves from the listings. That's what I've found. But when you actually get to grips in person with some of these materials, they are amazing time savers and get some really good effects. So what I'll say is some of the videos, the update videos in the loft, should start to kind of demonstrate the effects you can get very quickly and easily with the Woodland Scenics products. So watch this space. Let's just have a look. Leslie Gilpin, Valley Lines, remember that franchise, were the first to put decent seating in Pacers. Northern stayed with those horrible bus seats. Wolfie Wolf, I just love watching Jenny get more sloshed as the feed goes on. My word. Yes.
Oh, let me just see if I can update, because you're reading the comments there, but I can't see.
You'll have to scroll it down. Yeah. There you go. Leave it be. Get your fingers off that button.
Graph B, Pacers might be rubbish, but I'm sure they've saved. It is true. I mean, that is what they were built for, and that is true. They are rubbish. Don't get me wrong. They are like proper, shake, rattle, and roll. But at the same time, they've done the job they were built to do, and they cost about the same amount.
Okay,
as a school
we know
bus.
that you love Pacers. That you.
I was agreeing with the viewer.
Okay, put the pacer back and step away from the pacer. Right, Max's Hobby Productions. Did you get your Airfix 262 train set back that was stolen? Excuse me, or did you buy a new one? I'm assuming your trains are or have always been insured. Well, yes, always insured, because I know my golden rule with collecting model railways is never add up what you spent, because it will horrify you, and more importantly, it will horrify your other half to know what you've been spending. But also, yeah, well insured. So I was able to replace everything. And in fact, actually, most stuff was recovered. The Airfix 262 tank locomotive didn't make it back, but I was donated a replacement. Somebody actually, one of my YouTube people back then, I did name check them at the time, posted me a replacement Airfix 262 Prairie tank, which was incredibly kind of them. And I was really humbled at the time how the YouTube community rallied round to support me through that period, not just with sending bits and pieces to me, which I then incorporated into the model, but also getting the word out, which helped get these things spotted when they were starting to turning up on eBay. And that's how we got them back, and it's how we got the scumbags caught who were behind it all.
Yeah.
Sparky 107. Well, I'm off. Time to leave work and drive home. Have a great evening, Jenny and Brian and everyone. Well, thank you as well. It's been great having your company as well. Leslie Gilpin, Wolfie, have you noticed Jenny's nose goes red? Does it?
Yeah, it does. I noticed that earlier.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's a sign of being an alky.
It is, you know. Yeah.
It has actually.
Breaking news. There you go.
News,
We've got the best gossip yet.
It has
Jenny
to be
Kirk is an alcoholic.
No, I'm not actually. But I'm not wearing I'm not wearing a stitch of makeup. So obviously, this is my natural skin tone. I'm not even wearing. Quite often you'll see this in my box opening and review videos. I make the effort and I put eye makeup on. It's a bit of a girly thing. I do that sometimes. I do scrub up nice. There are pictures existing of me in some pretty posh frocks, looking really good with all my hair up and stuff, but with a bit of the old bling. But this is what. Did you just? I thought.
No, I didn't.
This is my natural skin tone, and as most women wouldn't be seen dead without makeup on, but really it's like this is how friendly the Jenny Monday Club is. That I'm quite happy to sit here with not a stitch of makeup on. Even when we filmed Biggest Little Railway, I'll put a bit of makeup on because I didn't want to look like a right shiny prat on the camera. And when I do something later in the year, I'm going to be probably getting a bit of slap on. But yeah, that's why my nose has gone red. If I was wearing makeup, you wouldn't see that. Right, anyway. Philip Page, I remember seeing a blue-green goddess in the 50s. Oh, is this the Green Goddess fire engines? What were we talking about?
Oh, well, yeah.
Well,
it was the John Ashton's 101 unit was called the Green Goddess. So,
right,
but at the same time, it's the same name for the fire engines as well.
Yeah. Max's Hobby Productions, if your trains aren't insured, I recommend getting them insured. Yeah, definitely. Check if they're covered by your household policy, because some policies are quite picky about what they cover. And they may only cover, does it cover the individual items up to an amount, or does it class your entire model railway collection as if it's one item? And insurance policies have like a single item limit. My policy is any one item. It's not bothered about model railways as a whole. It's any one item can't be worth more than, I think it's £1,500 before you have to specifically name it on your policy. So I do have original watercolour paintings which are specifically named on my insurance policy because of that, but the model railways are fine. But I have a lot of insurance. I'm not preparing for any scams or anything, but it's quite horrific if you add up. And the fire that's destroyed Notre Dame Cathedral has kind of brought this home that it's not burglary that you're insuring for. Imagine if you had a catastrophic fire that just indiscriminately destroyed everything. The stuff that people would never nick, the contents of your underwear drawer up in smoke. You have to pay to replace all that, all your furniture, your carpets, your light fittings, all of this stuff. If you add up everything and imagine, what if there was a catastrophic fire? Am I covered for all that? Your clothes, everything. And make sure you insure accordingly, because a lot of insurers have clauses that say that if they deem you to be underinsured, they may deny part of your claim. So, for example, if you had a policy that only covered you for, say, £50,000, and you had £60,000 worth of stuff destroyed, and you claimed for that, and you thought, well, I'll get £50,000.
Doesn't always work that way.
No, your insurance company might actually say, well, actually, you're only insuring 5/6, so we'll only pay out 5/6 of the £50,000.
You end up coming out with a lot less.
Yeah, so that's one of the ways that insurers
Another thing as well to think about. Now, nobody likes making a claim on their insurance. I mean, it's exactly the same with your car insurance. You make a claim, your policy's going to go up the following year. You know what I mean? No claims type thing. Well, the same can be said though when it comes to your modern railway gear. The same as any contents insurance. Is that also you are, if you're shopping around enough, you're insured for accidental damage as well. And this is something that, when it comes to certain expensive items that you have, is worth doing. I mean, for instance, I've got a couple of models that I've got that are worth quite a lot of money. And the chances of being able to replace those individually
what sort of accident? See, you've got to be careful with accidental damage because they get it back off you through your premiums.
Yeah, they do.
And
they
then
do.
Some. So you've got to be careful. You can't take the rip if you're forever damaging things.
Yeah,
and then they're gonna
yeah, and they're not stupid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you have something that's worth more than £500 as one single item, then it is worth at the very least making sure that is listed on the contents.
Right, and a few other tips as well is make sure you've got an up-to-date list of what you've got.
Photographic list
anything
as well.
That's unique, and this is how I got my stuff back, was that there were certain things I was able to describe. I didn't have pictures, but I was able to describe minor defects to models, like oh, that's got a chip in the paint right there, or that bit of lining is damaged, or it's got a bent buffer, or it's been the other things as well. If you've got a model that's been pro-weathered, so that weathering will be unique.
Yeah.
And I was able to. It was actually the Dick Hardy Class 9 shunt, the Hornby Dick Hardy, was what made it. That's what people spotted at first on eBay, and then when they started investigating, this person was putting these listings up, and they went, these are all off that list that Jenny posted, but that Dick Hardy matches the description. It's got a bent buffer, and it's exactly how she described, and that's how we caught them.
Carol Taylor, I think you should read that yourself.
What? Carol Taylor? Jenny, I nearly had a heart attack on what I have spent over the years, all insured as well. Who needs makeup when you build a shed for a new life? Yeah. It's the trouble with makeup, and there's a lot of blokes glazing over now, going, "Oh, makeup is supposed to be about trains."
Well, yeah, I know, but even I didn't put my eyeliner on earlier, while we're working away on the boards.
Yeah, but you I don't know what to say about that, but yeah, when I was younger, I used to make a lot of effort, and now I really can't be bothered.
Yeah.
I've reached that age where I can't be bothered.
Ham Shackleton, keep freezing, and you have to pay for refresh. To be honest with you, I mean that might be down to how busy the chat actually is tonight, because it has been quite busy.
Yeah, there's like nearly 60 people.
Yeah, it's probably to do with that. Apologies for that.
I'm not sure that's from our end, because I'm getting it. I've actually, like, through all these wires and through Tinternet, I'm watching us there, so you can see the amount of delay that we're actually dealing with by looking at there. I've just held my phone up to the screen on the thing, so that's going to be like weird. But it says Wolfie Wolf, you cheeky Leslie Gilpin. She gets lovely red rosy cheeks. Yeah, there's some people like pinch. This used to be a thing when I was young. It's like pinch your cheeks, pinch your cheeks.
What was the other one? Your finger and get blood and then rub it in. When he was in high school, girls used to do that to get rosy cheeks.
They had no idea that blood very quickly oxidises black because of the iron. So you basically end up with like big black marks. I know, I never used to do that. The thing when I was at school It used to be how short could you get your skirt by rolling the hem up at the top, and it's like instant mini skirts. And what the girls didn't realise was that it just made a big you had this roll of rolled up skirt round there. They just looked fat. And there's nothing a teenage girl likes less than looking fat, and they all did, and it's okay because they were horrible bitches. Anyway, sorry, there may be
no traumatic nightmares in your history there, honestly.
No traumatic demons there. Yeah, bitches of Bolton School. Right, let's have a look.
No, we're wrong. You're in Southern California, eh?
Oh, Carol Taylor gained an invite to visit the build of the new Gresley Class P2, number 2007-282, Prince of Wales, the Mikado. As I have invested with it. So you're right. So you're one of the investors. It'd be a thing that they do for the people who invest. I know that I put money into a film. You always wonder, like, who are these weird people who back films? Well, I backed a film. So if it's being filmed in France, so if I'd have been able to get to France, I have an open invite for a studio tour. Well, they've finished filming now. They've wrapped, so I can't now. But because I was a backer, I had an invite to go and visit the set. Yeah, Mr. Dreaded 88 says, Carol Taylor, I'm jealous. Actually, that'd be really good to go and see that, certainly. Max's Hobby Productions, I think one each or at least 2 or 3 examples of each loco should be preserved. Actually, a group tried to preserve CSX 8888 or Crazy 8s that inspired Unstoppable. Right, yeah.
Which one's that?
It's a Canadian locomotive.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I remember that film.
And also, as well, you got a bit off the topic, just wondering where you get Wilco's crisps in the United States. Not sure Wilco's? See, Wilco's here...
Wilco's is a nickname for Wilkinson's.
For Wilkinson's, which is basically a hardware store.
Well, it's like Woolworths used to be, before Woolworths lost their way and went...
Actually, I don't know whether or not... But I think on an American scale, if you took Walmart and then squeezed it down into a small store, that'd basically...
Well, no, it's like something like Wilkinson's. It's like buy anything you like. I don't know, would it be like J.C. Penney's or something like that?
But anyway, Wilco's crisps, I couldn't tell you. I'm sure somebody on here, I know there is
they'll be really
one or
expensive.
2 in here from the US. They'll be able to tell you.
It's a bit like over here we have. There's sweet shops that specialise in American sweets.
Yeah.
But by the time they've got here, the price is astronomical, and it's almost like this packet of Skittles dark fruit. Did you buy them an air ticket? Did it have its own seat in coach?
You're talking about the equivalent of $4 basically for a packet of Skittles, just because the ones that have never been produced.
Yeah, just because basically they've got E numbers in that are banned in the UK. And what I do is when my friend, I've got a friend who visits America an awful lot, I get her to buy packs of Skittles and bring them back, because I love some of the really weird flavours of Skittles. And for a long time in the UK, all you could get was the regular red packet Skittles, the boring ones.
Yeah, the boring ones.
And the Skittles sours, the green packet.
Also, as well, on the same subject, and I don't advocate anybody starting smoking, so not an advice thing whatsoever, but I'm the same if I go to Europe. There's the clickball cigarettes, but the ones that have got 3 different flavours. And there's berry ones.
Like black currant.
Yeah, and things like that. Actually, to be honest with you, they are actually really, really nice. And because obviously...
Don't take up smoking, kids.
No. Don't try this at home, kind of. But yeah, for the same reason, because we're not allowed to have them in the UK. They're banned in the UK to have certain flavours, because in case they encourage children...
In case they encourage stupid people to take up the old cancer stick.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Right.
So there was somebody asking, what do you think about something to do with... I'm
looking at the side. Sorry, Norman Rowe. Nothing more satisfying than a female model railroader drinking on a live chat. Thanks, Jenny, for another fine time. I'll drink to that. That bottle is empty. The bottle's empty. I've drunk it.
Did you only bring 2?
I've only got 2. I only bought 2.
You could have told me. I could have gone to the shop and got you some more.
The shop's still open, isn't it?
No, you can't go out after dark round here. You get mugged.
It's not that bad. Hey.
You've heard about knife crime in North Manchester.
Oh, yeah, he was telling me about the two crackheads who got run over in the tunnel that's just near his house.
Well, that's community service, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and then with the Deepdale line, with all the smackheads who live in that tunnel.
Yeah. It's railway tunnel in Preston. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is Wolfie Wolf. Back to the stolen trains and insurance. My worst fear is that when I die, my wife will sell everything for what I told her I paid for it. Les tells me that as well, and yeah, it's if you have a look at MRE Mag, there's an article in there by my friend Derry Foe Nightingale, and that's exactly what he was writing about. He's an antiques dealer by trade, and one of the things that he does is house clearances. Somebody dies, they get to go in and clear the house, and he says you'd be flabbergasted at the peanuts that the families are happy to let this stuff go for. And he makes a business out of it. He buys this stuff dirt cheap and he flips it, and that's how he makes his living. And to give you an example, I got a pristine mint in box Bachmann 5MT 460 and tender, and never really been run. A fairly modern model, probably only about 2, maybe 3 years old. So it's like full spec, DCC ready. He charged me £25 for that, and he paid a £5 for it. And to give you an idea of some of the things, he was part of the consortium of antiques dealers who did a house clearance of a guy who was a big model railway collector, no immediate family, and basically they paid £1,000 for 1,000 locomotives, including brand new Helgen, Bachmann, Hornby locomotives. £1 a locomotive. Some of them were DCC sound fitted, and he said, this goes on. So yeah, it's probably as well to, at the very least, leave in your will what they're worth. Because after you're gone, are you really bothered that your other half's going to go, how much? Because they're probably quite pleased. They go, oh, well, it's a nice little windfall.
No, they're just basically for finding out how much you've spent, though. They'll probably make sure that your funeral's the cheapest they can get.
To be honest, why would I care? Just sling my body on the rubbish pit.
I've always said the same
why do
thing.
I care? Yeah. I'm not using it.
Somebody, I got a friend request on Facebook. If that was who was it again? Because they're not using their own name on there. Oh yes, that was it. Friend from Didcot. If that was you, I got you on here. Not a problem.
Yeah, it was Ham Shackleton. There was a cartoon on Facebook. A shop had a big sign up saying, for £2 more, we'll give you a receipt for how much you said you paid for it.
Yeah.
Was that Jacob Gardenas, Crackheads and Trains? Why aren't we making a reality show about this?
Basically, I've always wanted to do a voiceover to an adult cartoon. You know what I mean? I'll do the script for it. Like a Family Guy, but a British version. Yeah, definitely.
Leslie Gilpin. That when I'm in Canada, things like Mars bars are like £2 equivalent.
Yeah.
But then again, sweeties seem to be generally expensive.
But Walker's Crisps that we have here, which it's a British brand, they're available worldwide simply because they have different names. Lay's Crisp. Which you get, company, then, it's the same company, same logo and everything, and you get those in Canada, you get them in America, you get them in Spain, France, everywhere I've gone, travelling outside the UK. Lay's Crisp, it's Walker's Crisp, basically made in the UK. So that's one brand that does travel.
Yeah, Carol Taylor, that's pretty much good advice. What a rip-off. Once you're gone, correct place it in a will. That blocks them from gaining your collection for a song. Yeah, if it's in your will, keep your will secret from your other half. But once you're gone, what do you care? You don't want your other half getting ripped off. You may have been conning them whilst you're alive, but at the end of the day, do you really want some dodgy spiv, some geezer, to come in and profit from your collection at the expense of your other half? No, you don't.
Sorry,
want that.
I was just chuckling there at what Jacob just said then.
Yeah,
I had completely
agreed. Me with my trains.
Except for the fact that the hole just would never get deep enough, I'm afraid.
That'd be one hell of a hole for my collection. And then Wolfie Wolf. A friend bought a Ducati Monster motorcycle for £6,000. The bike was one off only 10 specials ever made, worth £38,000. Yeah,
Yeah, great
it
for your hobby,
happens all
but
the time.
how long did it take to write the bike off? I joke, but no, I mean, he was a friend of mine who was absolutely mad in Ducati bikes, and he got some sort of, expensive version. I don't know much about bikes. And he'd owned it for about half an hour and he wrote it off. Haven't even had it long enough to insure it.
That's it. Well,
He didn't insure it before taking it home from the showroom. And he said, no, I'll do it when I get
Isn't that
home,
bit
don't worry
naughty?
about it. He thought he'd sort it out when he got home and basically wrote it off. And that must have been worth about 20 grand. Hello, Dave Engage. Welcome.
And Carol said, haha, they know already, Jenny. Many heat evenings, storm in a teacup. Actually, talking about, I never lie about what I spend. Myself and my partner have separate accounts. We just always have. We never did the joint account thing. We are married. We've been married for 10 years. So, whole load of broken hearts. People, oh, you're married? Oh. Yeah, I am. Unfortunately, fortunately.
What do you mean, unfortunately? I'm going to tell on you.
Yeah, and you will as well.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
She'd agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she would actually.
yeah.
Yeah. But my partner buys computer games, expensive retro computer games, and we do it out of our own earnings. So our accounts are quite separate. And we're quite happy with that, as long as we don't beggar each other with our hobby. And I've got other hobbies as well, and some of my other hobbies make model trains seem quite cheap.
If you could see what's behind the monitor, honestly, it's and this is Zoe's hobby.
It's about 2,000 PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can see. I'm not sure if you can actually.
Yeah, just behind you, I can see it.
Yeah, you can see
they're
some of them there.
PlayStation 2. Why am I pointing at a picture on the screen?
Yeah, why are you doing that?
Yeah, there.
Yeah, that's some of them, and they go all the way up that wall.
Hey, Brian,
all the way behind me.
Brian, put your head in frame.
What? Go on.
I can squish you. I can squish you, Brian, squish you.
I was telling you you've had a beer. So yeah, and there's like 2,000 of them all the way around the room. So yeah, Zoe has a hobbies as well, doesn't she? She's very proud of them.
Loads of them.
Yes, everywhere. So yeah.
But I've got other hobbies. I've got a classic car. I rebuilt a classic car. That's an expensive hobby, especially around MOT time. Also, burlesque is a big thing of mine. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? I've got an extensive collection of corsets, real corsets, and yes, I've got a large collection from, mostly from a company called Axford's in Brighton. No, you can't see them. I also collect vintage lingerie.
Yes, you do.
So I've got lots of classic vintage lingerie going right back. I've got like Elizabethan corsets, things like that. What else do I do? Books. I've got some very expensive books and paintings. I said to you before, like single outlay on an item. I spent nearly £2,000 on a painting one time. Yeah, as an investment.
Wolf, he's looking at his investment for your kids. Yeah, it's a very good point. You know what I mean? If you can get your kids into the same hobby and what have you, then obviously you've got something, valuable to hand down to them.
Yeah, treat it as an heirloom.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that antiques started out as. Is just like regular run of the mill everyday objects, and they kind of get passed down.
Yeah.
So my mother has a coffee table that dates back to the 1950s, and I think it's an ugly thing. It's like almost like an Art Deco thing, but it's an heirloom now because it was passed down to her. It was originally her grandmother's, which is my great grandmother's. So it's become an antique, an heirloom. But I can see the comments going.
Yeah.
So I think my mention of corsets and lingerie.
Wolf, next feed burlesque trains.
Burlesque trains, no. Let's just shock a few people. So,
is it after the watershed?
No, these are like perfectly. Let's see. Oh no!
Site is temporarily suspended.
The site that I get all my corsets from
is temporarily suspended. Suspended.
Since we announced we were closing, we received a huge number of orders in order to temporarily shut in.
In Strachan, you have a real green goddess in your drive, just in case your train set overheats, of course. Wow, honestly, yeah, green goddess fire engines, absolutely beautiful machines. Yeah, so well done for getting one of those. I know there's a lot of them that have survived, and obviously there's a reserve of some as well that are still see service every now and again as well.
Oh,
so yeah, well done for preserving one of those. Respect.
The suspender site is suspended. And funnily enough, they did.
I think I beat you to that joke just about, James. Yeah.
You keep talking.
Oh, that's it
The
now.
drink is talking.
Yeah, she's on a mission now. She's on a mission.
Oh, don't.
Oh, it's only a bottle of whatever it is, fizz.
Yeah, let that stand for a bit.
So yeah, what was it? There's somebody said that there's no ban on the flavours with cigarettes in the UK. No, it's not that there's a ban on the flavours. It's the ones that you buy in Europe. Those particular ones are banned because they were made by the same company that makes Sterling. And those particular ones that they decided they were no longer going to allow them. They wouldn't allow them to sell them in the UK because of the fact that they're 3 flavours. I don't know, a more interesting note.
That's one of the corsets. So that's what would have been on the Axford site if it had actually been up and running. So there we are. Burlesque. I bet you didn't know that about me. And I bet you also didn't know that a long time ago I did some work as a model. So I've been an underwear model in my time.
There you go.
Things we didn't know about Jenny. I'm like an onion. You just peel away the layers. It's so. Right,
Wolf just passed out.
Carol Taylor, you daredevil, Jenny. I haven't worn this in a while, actually. Jacob Cardenas, your opinion on Victorian locomotives? Well, Victorian corsets, Victorian locomotives. I think they're very beautiful. The Victorians put an elegance into their engineering, and I think the aesthetics was as important to them as an
Dragon Junction. Oh, Notre Dame. Only the front door left at the moment.
Oh my word!
We do need to keep updates on this, obviously, because I mean it
is a breaking news story, but
and actually it is actually something that we both actually care about quite a fair bit.
It
actually,
is, yeah. I'm just let's have a look. Live coverage of the fire. It's just really sad. Yeah, there's definitely they've got hoses on it. Is that live? Yeah, people are weeping in the streets, and I'll be honest, I'm almost in tears just thinking about it. Jenny, we have a troll.
Yeah, I didn't know whether or not he was a troll or not, but I was keeping an eye on what he was saying. But yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but sorry about that. Yeah,
these things happen. Oh, Dave Engage, St Pancras, Best Victoria. Do you know that is one of my favourite buildings? It really, honestly is, and I've been inside a little bit of it, and some of the floors that are deemed unsafe at the moment for use, and I've been for quite a long time actually. I really would like to do one of the ghost hunts that they do, because I'm also into paranormal stuff as well. So I might be widening my channel a little bit in time, because I would also like to be doing stuff like that as well. So I might have a bit of a side thing going on with the channel on that as well, mine. I do have quite an interest in that.
There's like nothing left. It is collapsing.
No. Not good at all, that from Notre Dame.
The fire looks like it's largely out, but there's not a lot left.
No.
City fire. Oh, it's still burning.
That will probably burn for a few days yet before it's completely out.
Right.
I would have thought.
Notre Dame's second tower and belfry. They're trying to protect the second tower and belfry, but they're not sure that they can. If it collapses, you can imagine how important the damage will be. Oh. This is, I mean, it's a breaking story, but I mean, that picture is heartbreaking.
It really is.
That really is heartbreaking.
Jacob, old churches in Dallas, Texas are amazing. There we go. There you can see most perfect structures.
I'm going to go and put this away.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, I've never been to the US, and I'd love to go. I really would. Have you?
I've been to America.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Did you not?
No.
Those layers of the onion were peeling back.
Well, I would love to go. I'm a bit of a comedian and a bit of a sarcastic one at times, so I do apologise.
Yeah, you are. You are very sarcastic.
But yeah,
he's more sarky than a bottle of sake.
Oh God, no! Don't compare me to that stuff. But when you say old churches, some of our refuge bins are probably older than churches in the US, and that doesn't mean as a dig. But yeah, you want to come over here and see some. You know, we have like some amazing castles and some amazing churches that date back
Durham,
a very long time.
Durham's a really great place to visit because you've got the castle on one side of Palace Green and you've got Durham Cathedral on the other. And St Paul's Cathedral is amazing. Every time I see that when I go to London, I mean if that burnt down, I think that would be heartbreaking for the nation. So I really feel for the French people out there. Losing something as iconic as Notre Dame Cathedral, that is just the words can't articulate the loss of a building like that. Is just unbelievable. Carol Taylor, just think of St Paul's or York went up. Well, York did burn down in the early 80s, or at least part of it, because I remember that.
York Minster,
and the damage it did. Yeah. They did rebuild, obviously, but priceless artifacts lost. I can remember they're having to replace all the roofs because it had burnt down, and there were like these ornate carved bosses, and very few of them survived the fire. Because I remember Blue Peter did a thing where they did a competition to design the bosses to go up to replace the ones that had been burnt. Let's have a look. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you think you should? Are you intending to have a couple of 40s? Stuart Moore says regular sorties through Bolton in the past. I think he should. I mean, you haven't got one.
Actually, I haven't got class 40s, but I'm warming to them. I mean, I never really liked the idea of peaks, and then I bought cheap. I got a class 45 quite cheap.
You've got one of each now, haven't you?
I've got a 44, a 45 and a 46. I decided I'd have the full set. And it's made me think, actually, I quite fancy a class 40. So a class 40 is on my hit list.
Yeah.
Philip Page, I remember West Orton Parish Church burning down. Yeah. It's always sad when you lose iconic buildings like that. I mean, I'm trying to think... There's been railway-related buildings that have got burnt down. It's been tragic. But words can't really describe what we feel about that. Graph B, it's amazing how St. Paul survived the Blitz in World War II. Yeah, because German pilots were using it as a reference point, so they were told not to bomb it. I think as well there was an element that it was recognised it was a very historically significant building, so the idea was maybe we'll just try and keep that.
And Transport in South East, if that was your Facebook with Frederick Australia, got it, not a problem. And you say as a trained structural engineer, a mechanical engineer, that the second tower and bell tower will fall down. Looking at the picture on fire, I think even if it didn't, I think they'd probably take it down anyway because there's nothing supporting.
Carol Taylor, Northern Tower looks like it's going to fall down now.
Yeah.
Not Lob. Leslie Gilpin, when I was a student in Manchester, nearly all you used to see in Knotlob were 25s and 40s and 47s. It's interesting, actually, because Knotlob is what Les, who we've let out of the basement, that's what he called his model railway, Knotlob, which is Bolton backwards.
Exactly, yeah.
Ham Shackleton, don't overlook Queen Liz's place burning down. Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that was from dodgy contractors, as you put it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, because they were having works done at the time.
It was like a blowtorch that had been left on smouldering. It hadn't been.
Yeah, I think it was after they used it, what they put it down on the surface.
Windsor Castle.
Yeah.
Put it down on wood shavings or something, and it had set fire to them.
That was quite a lot of damage. That wasn't it?
It burnt out St George's Chapel.
But thankfully, that's been renovated now. Thankfully.
Let's have a look. Jacob Cardenas, I think Stradley's new and improved green is one of the best colours on locomotives. Yeah, some of the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway liveries I do think are quite nice. I do have a soft spot for the Highland Railway livery, Caledonian Railway, Great Central Railway livery, but also it shouldn't be overlooked some of the blacks. Black wasn't just black. They had this sort of very rich, vibrant blacks. They put, I think it was blue in the black. So things like Lancashire and Yorkshire and London and North Western Railway had almost like a plum black. And then Hull and Barnsley locomotives always look very pretty. A lot of the pre-grouping liveries were very impressive.
Maxowie Productions. I thought that between platforms 9 and 10 at King's Cross there was supposed to be a ghost from an old 17th or 16th century battle. Just curious. I think you're getting mixed up with a Dementor from platform 9 3/4 from Harry Potter. Maybe. Right, Brockwell Lane, you're into Supernatural as well. Right. The Haunting on 37069. I have heard about this. There's 3 other locos that I know where different drivers have reported things.
What sort of things?
I didn't know that it was 069. I knew it was one of the surviving DRS ones, but one of the 86s that is now in use with Freightliner has managed to kill 3 staff members over the years. A bit like a kind of haunted sort of. Well,
how exactly did it happen?
Well, it's accidentally, without anybody in the cab and with the handbrake on, rolled off and crushed a shunter's head between buffers. It's mysteriously not stopped while shunting and run over a foreman. And it was involved with an accident that killed the driver. And all kinds of different things that have been mentioned by staff that, you know, being able to hear voices coming from inside the electrical compartment while they're driving it and things. And actually, for the life of me, I can't remember which class 86 it is, but.
And it's still on the go.
Yeah, it's still on the go. Yeah, a lot of them have been scrapped, but this one, apparently, superstitions they have that particular cab facing inwards on the pairs for the 86 and the Freightliners. So, yeah.
Carol Taylor, the Backman members area at Ali Pali, loved the green livery. I presume you're talking about the SECR, the C class. Yeah, I actually went into the. I'm not a member of the Backman Collectors Club, but I got invited in because I did interviews with various members of staff from Backman, the UK CEO, and also one of the top guys at Woodland Scenics as well. So I got a full guided tour of that area. You should have come and said hello, actually. If you saw, because I was there both days, you should have come and said hello. I was doing the panel events at the MRC stand, and I was bobbing around all day.
I've heard that rumour as well about who's buried under King's Cross. That's I think there's actually a map actually showing the site of the grave, and then obviously they've worked it out.
Who's
from
buried?
Have a look for yourself. It is.
Boadicea, supposedly buried under King's Cross platform.
Yeah, it is documented on a map. That.
Did they know the exact site of her burial?
No, they can pinpoint it within about 50 yards, which is not bad for an old map.
Yeah,
So they don't know the exact place. They couldn't go pinpoint, just dig up a small patch like underneath there. let's have a look, see what else we've got.
Is it
Euston Station? Yeah, that's a lot of haunted history. That does, I must admit. I've heard so many stories.
So Carol Taylor, yes, Jenny, you were busy chatting, otherwise I would have. Yeah, Ali Pally, I kept getting recognised by people. It was really, really humbling to actually meet so many people who follow my YouTube channel. So I kept getting stopped by people saying, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." So I was chatting with lots of people, but you should have just come and found me. Waited in the queue. But even when I got into the Backman's members area, I did the interviews with a couple of people, and then I was sat getting a one-on-one tuition with Woodland Scenics, and found that the guy sat next to me was like, "Oh, it's Jenny Cook. Hi, nice to meet you." And then the people who were sitting at the table behind me afterwards leant over and went, "Oh, we follow your YouTube channel too," which was great in a way. I felt it's like nothing massages your ego more than people coming up and go, "Hi, how you doing? I love your work." I never used to get quite that level when I did the book signings and stuff, because you write a book. You write books, and available in all good bookshops and some really crap ones as well. Amazon Marketplace actually is a really good place to get those from. You don't get the same level of recognition because nobody really knows what you look like unless they Google you. And I was big as an author about 10, 11 years ago. That was probably the peak of my popularity. Had 2 books out that did exceptionally well, still available Amazon Marketplace, see, Twinkle Little Star and Bringing Home the Stars, really great books, everybody raves about them, you won't be disappointed, great for birthdays, Christmases, bar mitzvahs. Right, anyway, enough of the plug. Oh, Carol Taylor, go on, do your pitch, Jenny. Boom! Way ahead.
Different, right? Yeah, A Day in the Life of a Basher.
Oh, hold on, another troll.
Yeah.
Which one? Who's the troll?
I think they might have left. Actually, I think it's
What the hell does that even mean?
I have absolutely no idea, but I mean we might have missed something else, and if we have, apologise. Different. Listen, I won't. Day in the Life of a Basher. Well,
if we've missed the troll, can somebody tell me who the suspected troll is? I'm just.
Yeah, it was on the last page. I just didn't see anything else that was put. That one.
That's not really. That's I don't know what that even means.
Day in the Life of a Basher. Basically, class 37 Basher myself. Going back to the day, I've just on 37 fours. I think 55,000 on 37 fours. Been there, done that. And as soon as they start, I shall be down there. Just need to try and find some cheap accommodation, and I'll be down there for a good few days doing that. Yeah, I thought it was him.
The what?
Hentai guy.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Is that's what does that mean? Is that something rude? I'm not familiar with what they've typed.
Oh well. But yes, we shall get rid of this anything, don't worry. So yeah, you never know, might see you down there, definitely. If you see me in the coaching stop behind 418 and 421, then give us a nod.
Right, no, but I'm looking at the time. We've done 2.5 hours. So
it's flown by that tonight.
It does actually.
Yeah.
When you're having fun,
Yeah.
it's great. Wolfie Wolf.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Right. York Minster Fire was 9th of July 1984. More to UK. Right.
Doesn't seem that long ago.
Jacob Cardenas. If you're talking
right.
about hentai, it's an adult cartoon, really disgusting to be honest. Don't get mad, just try that. Right, no. We didn't realise.
Yeah.
Yes, anime.
Not a problem.
Anime porn. Right, we get it. We'll keep an eye on the situation.
Yeah, don't worry.
We're actually going to round off soon, so I'm looking at the time, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
All the talking tends to make my mouth dry up, and those corsets won't wear themselves. So look on his face. What's your wife going to say?
Seven Valley Diesel Gala. I shall be there on the Saturday, definitely.
Oh, you'll definitely go.
I'm definitely going to Seven Valley Gala, definitely. I'm also on the Gurrock Growler week next Saturday, just short of 2 weeks' time. I'll be getting there, boarding that at Preston, and that should be good fun. 88.68 pair of 37s. I know, yeah.
Brian's face.
Once a comedian, always comedian. I just can't help myself, but like, you know,
No,
grab the moment of the cartoon look.
I think it's when I said, well, those corsets won't wear themselves.
So yeah, so
behave yourself.
Diffan, I will definitely be down there for the 37s on the valleys and what have you. There's a few things I need to get down there for anyway. There's a few things knowledge-wise that I need still down there. By all means, if any of the 37 cranks on here that want to add me on Facebook, by all means, that's what my page looks like, so you'll be able to see it. All I will say is that I don't suffer fools lads. Basically, any trolls on that I will get rid of straight away.
Right, Notre Dame update. The big rose window's gone.
Yes, Dave Engage. Yes, GBRF 60 is going to be there. Can't wait for that. To be honest with you, I don't even mind it when the sheds go there, the 66s, because they always tend to get ones that have never worked before, and it's a little red pen move, just a fill-in move between other things. But I actually need the 25 from Devon. I think it's one of the last 25s left I haven't had for haulage. So that's another thing to tick off. You know, I don't mind doing little sulzers. So yeah, Seven Valley is a definite must for myself. The 50s painted in GBRF livery, I don't know if they're the ones that are going to be operating or whether or not they're the ones that are based there or not. I'm not entirely sure. But I never turned down a decent bash on a Class 50. Obviously, Seven Valley, I'll be definitely sat behind 37688 if it's out. Huge fan of that loco. So yeah, I'll be there for that. Anybody doing the Gurrock Growler on the 27th, I think it is, just short of 2 weeks on the Saturday, I should be on that as well. Are you planning on going to any events coming up?
I haven't got time, to be honest.
I've been really busy lately.
Yeah.
Do you not fancy Seven Valley?
I don't think I'm going to have the time to. Was that the store you stated in Brighton, Jen? It's on the move. That's where the Rise of the Business Road. Ah, right. Axford's, the corset place.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I need to buy another corset. Yeah. Brian, do you want to treat me? Right. I'm with you. Right.
Cheers, Diffan. Much appreciated. I'll accept that in a minute, mate.
Right. Yeah. I'm following the Notre Dame thing live on the BBC website, and it's yeah, people are weeping in the streets, and
I'm not surprised. I must admit, for me, that was the highlight of my trip to Paris last time I went, because it was fairly quiet when I went.
I couldn't believe when
not the usual hordes of tourists all the way around it queuing up for ages to get in. I didn't go in it last time. I have been in it. But I didn't go in it last time. But just sat outside it, just sat there, eating my lunch, and you know there was two of us there, and it's a beautiful place, even all around it on the outside. And I was taking photographs of all the architecture all the way around it, walking around it, and taking pictures of all the little details and things. And I was quite surprised at little details of little figures, and just the fact that from a distance they all look like they're all the same. So you look at them close up, and each different one is very, very different in the detail. Yeah, I mean, absolutely amazing architecture.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, lovely to have everybody in on the live chat stream. We're going to round this off now, so it's been great to have you along. Don't forget that you can watch this video in its entirety. It will go up live on YouTube once it's been processed, so you can watch that whenever you want, dip in and out, re-watch bits, watch anything that you missed, and also don't forget to like this video share it too, and if you've not already done so, subscribe to the channel and you'll be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. And don't forget that we've got coming up more from the Hatton's visit. There's more footage from that needs to go up. We've got some box openings and reviews, because I still haven't got round to doing all of my Ali Pali spoils of war in 2 different scales. So there's going to be some O gauge stuff and some 00 stuff. And not forgetting that progress in the loft, with the loft layout, my little eyrie up there, is going along great guns, and continuing to film and put up videos of that. Hopefully there might be one this Friday, so stay tuned. But it's been really good to have you all along for this. It's been great to have your company. Now you take really good care of yourself, and this is me, Jenny Kurt, and my
Brian?
best bud here, Brian. No, I was thinking of a compliment.
Oh, right.
They're very hard to come, but
Yeah, they
best
are.
bud Brian.
So anyway, cheers. Great to meet you guys.
Yeah.
And
don't forget, was it Northcote Road?
Northcote Road. But I will be doing a live stream soon when I can drag Jenny down to mine, and we'll do the whole thing vice versa.
Preston's up from here.
Oh yes, just
Well,
about.
one of the things that I was thinking of doing is actually doing
Cheers, Wolfie.
maybe a multi YouTuber thing for one of the Shed Live chats. Getting some of the, not like, I don't want big name YouTubers because that's my domain. But no, some of the smaller YouTubers. I've got a few people. I think Dundee Road sometimes passes through as well.
Yeah.
So looking to get a few of us together and maybe start our little sort of multi-shed chat. So that'd be great. But that sort of ideas in the pipeline in the future. But until then, that loft in the layout's not going to build itself. The corsets in the back bedroom are not going to wear themselves. Brian, we'll be strapping you into one later on. Until then, you all take really good care of yourselves. Bye for now.